Good morning, everybody. This is the Oskar Quentin Show, where I talk about politics and whatever I feel like talking about with the people who call in on TikTok Live. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, you can find a pinned comment showing when the calls start and more detailed timestamps in the description, because I now pay somebody to do that, so it actually happens on time most days. Hello, Scout. Scout's being very, very bothersome already today. I'm very tired. We had a very good members-only stream with all the paying members last night. We got very goofy. I drank lots of stuff I'm not allowed to say that I drank on TikTok because, you know, the TikTok gods. We love the TikTok shop. We love all that stuff. Here's the deal, guys. We might be requiring people to put cameras on going forward. It's getting out of hand, the degree to which these conversations happen, where people say amazingly reprehensible things. And sometimes I'm like an hour deep in a conversation where I just realize it's somebody who's not going to engage in any honest way with the conversation. He doesn't care that I'm calling them out for these horrible things. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to say cameras on at the beginning of every debate. I'm not going to say cameras on with every person who calls in. But I think if we get to a place where it's like, oh, you want to talk about the place of women in society, or you want to talk about, well, yeah, Michelle clocked it in the chat right away. Bigotry equals camera on. That I think is what it is. If you want to tell me about how dangerous illegal immigrants are, if you want to tell me that they're scum, if you want to if we go down that rabbit hole, I think I'm just going to say, hey, I have a problem with this subject matter, which is that a lot of trolls waste my time saying hateful stuff that I don't think they actually believe. So just pop your camera on real quick, say hello with the camera on. You can turn it off after you say hello with it on, so we can match your voice to your face, and then we'll just go from there. I think that's what needs to happen. We're gonna see if Hodor is somebody who I'm gonna require to put his camera on. We'll see. How old are you?
I'm 51.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Hell yeah! Twice on Sunday.
Cool. Why is that?
Because I dislike people like you that think they're intelligent, think they know what the fuck they're talking about.
I'm gonna ask that you turn your camera on to proceed with the conversation.
Oh, is that your little whore girlfriend? Does she give it to you in the ass, little fuck boy?
He's calling you a whore, Jesse.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're missing it. You get back in your producer chair. I'm sorry, that's not my girlfriend. That's my producer. Camera on, or I'm gonna kick you.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. Kick me, bitch. Little soy boy fuck.
See, like that's how it's gonna be, right? Like I could have sat here and figured out why that guy likes Trump, but if he's not gonna fucking stand on business, we're not fucking doing it. Aaron, I see you in the request queue. Aaron, you're such an interesting caller. I think I want you to be the guest on my evening show this coming Sunday. I think I want to put a more prepared thing around our conversation. I don't debate religion very much on this platform, but I do want to have that conversation. If we have it on TikTok, we're going to be dodging censorship like we did when I had to kick you yesterday. So I see you. I'm glad you're here right back at 10 for the start. But I think I am going to let me know in the chat what you think about that, Aaron. If you'd come on through a Zoom call instead of TikTok, like I feel like you're one of those callers where like you and I could sit and talk for 3 hours, and we might just do that, and I might want that to be its own packaged thing instead of a call on this show. Let me know in the chat what you think about that, Aaron. Because I am interested in that conversation. I want it to be more serious than what we're doing, especially because right now we're kind of dodging this like camera on situation. So I'm going to bring Austin Ryder in, and we're going to see if he needs to have his camera turned on or not. We'll find out. But that might just be the, you know, he seems to have left right away. See, Iowa Golfer's in the chat, and he's the type of caller where I don't mind him not having his camera on. For one thing, I have seen what he looks like. I've seen him put his camera on a live before. But he's not a coward. He's not hiding behind anything. Like he's just a guy who's trying to figure this stuff out, likes calling in and talking to me about stuff. So I will talk to you in just a moment, Iowa Golfer. But we're going to talk to Long Live Russia, or Long Live the U.S. and Russia. Fucking, what's this gonna be? What are we in for today? Hello, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 18.
18. Okay.
Correct.
Are you pro-Russia? That's what's going on with the username?
Well, I support where my father is from. He was born there. So yes, I do support them.
Do you support Putin?
No, I don't.
Okay. I mean, I'm if you're just a person whose family is from Russia and you want Russia to be prosperous, I can get behind that. I don't want Russian people to suffer. I just wanted to address. I just wanted to address it quickly because it is kind of a rage bait username. People are going to assume that you mean like the government in Russia, not the people.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah, I don't support the government. I can't stand Putin. I've never liked him, ever.
Okay. You're a Trump supporter?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Why?
Well, I was actually looking to speak on, well, the two things within your background. First, the fuck guys, and all patriots are Antifa. First, I'm wondering, can you define fascism for me?
Oh, fascism is a little bit complicated. It's a system of control where you consolidate the power with the few and use it to oppress the people. That's like the shortest thing. There's a bunch of stuff that comes with it in terms of like characteristics that make a particular approach to authoritarianism fascist. I like Lawrence Britt's definition, the 14 tenets of fascism. That's one that I recognize.
So the 14 tenets tend to stray away from the main definition of fascism.
You know what? I'm just going to do this thing. I'm going to say, forget the word fascist then. I don't give a shit if you define it in a different way than me. I think that if you do something, if you do 14 of the 14 tenets of fascism, even if somebody like you doesn't call it fascism, I think that's bad. We can call it bad instead of fascism. And I can say that Trump's doing those things and that's bad. And we can move on instead of sitting here and arguing about semantics instead of actually what's happening in the world. Not having it today. Sorry.
Right, so we don't go by Benito Mussolini or Giovanni Gentile, the ones that created the Donald.
No, we don't. No, I go by Lawrence Britt's definition. I just explained that. I'm not interested in arguing about the definition of words because people are suffering and I care about that. I think that doing the things that's on Lawrence Britt's list is bad. I just explained all that. You decided that you're going to sidestep my explanation and go back to the definitions from the mid-20th century. Not fucking interested, dude. What Trump is doing is bad. Most people call it fascism. You don't, and you think that you're right about that, and that makes you a prescriptivist, not a descriptivist. We could have a fucking conversation about linguistics if you want. I'm fucking educated on that shit. I was the fucking, yeah, I'm not doing it today, dude. I'm in a bad mood. I'm not arguing about the definition of fascism with somebody who obstinately disagrees in a way that sidesteps the fact that the behavior that's happening is bad. Not doing it.
Okay. So what's wrong with nationalism in and of itself?
Did I say anything was wrong with the basic idea of nationalism, being proud of your country? In fact, I'm talking about patriotism. I think patriotism and nationalism go hand in hand, but there's a particular flavor of nationalism that's quite dangerous, which is when you put that pride over logic and reason. That's what's bad with nationalism.
Okay, so ultranationalism, that's something I don't support. I'm talking about powerful and continuing nationalism, which is the very first point within the 14 tenets. So again, what's wrong with nationalism in and of itself? That doesn't lead to ultranationalism.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that somebody who does one of the 14 tenets is necessarily doing something bad? Because you're trying to pigeonhole me into that absolute belief, which is not one that I hold. Because there's plenty of things on Lawrence Britt's list of 14 things that on their own aren't necessarily a red flag. It's all of them combined, and you fucking know that. Shit doesn't work on me, dude. Try a different fucking approach. How about you man the fuck up and tell me about how you feel about what the government's doing instead of talking about all this definitional bullshit that nobody fucking cares about?
Why is the 14 wrong? Can you explain that to me?
Because if we look at the leaders in the 20th century who did those 14 things, it's people who caused millions of people to die in global conflicts. That's why it's bad. Fucking Hitler, dude. Camera on. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to have you sit here. Camera on. Camera on if you want to stay on my show. I'm not doing this shit. Camera on. Camera on. Camera on. You proud of what you believe in? You proud of coming up here and saying that all the things that you've said and talking about the definition of fascism?
Like I don't agree with fascism.
Camera on. Camera on.
I don't agree with fascism. I'm capitalist.
Camera emojis in the chat.
Why are we crashing out?
Because my viewers know why I'm crashing out. You don't need the fucking context. You need to turn your fucking camera on. I'm done with this shit.
We don't even know about fascism. Why are we crashing out?
Camera.
Damn,
see, you're not serious. You don't care. You don't care about these beliefs. You're just a fucking rage baiter, Philbro. You want to come here and argue about definitions because people are. Show your fucking face. I don't care if you're a capitalist. You're a fucking coward, is what you are. Turn your fucking camera on. Camera on. This can be an episode where all I do is fucking crash out on these fucking cowards on TikTok Live who don't show their fucking face.
That is true.
Camera on.
That is very true.
Why? Answer this question. Why are you not turning on your camera?
Why do I need to?
Because I don't think you're serious. I think you're a fucking troll, and I'm trying to have a show where we talk about what's happening in the world, and people are because you're hiding behind the anonymity of the internet to say rage bait on my fucking show, and I'll believe that you believe in what you. By refusing to turn your fucking camera on, dude. Queue's full. I'm moving on. You got 10 fucking seconds to turn your camera on.
Wait, me not turning my camera on is rage baiting?
Camera.
Damn, we really are crashing out. The day just
Goodbye. We're gonna talk to somebody else. I'm serious, guys. I'm fucking over it. I'm fucking over these fucking cowards coming on and acting like anything they have to say is fucking serious when they're unwilling to show their fucking face. I'm just fucking over it. Make a better show if we got to see somebody other than me anyway. This is just me, fucking camera pointed at me. If that's fucking rage bait, call in on another fucking day when you're brave enough to show your fucking face. You Nazi. He knows he's a fucking Nazi. He knows that the approach he was taking is one that people use to defend fucking ultra-nationalism. He fucking knows that. He's not stupid. I'm not stupid. The viewers are fucking stupid. Most people are stupid. And those tactics fucking work, which is why it's dangerous to platform motherfuckers like that, which is why I'm going to start requiring such motherfuckers to show their fucking faces. Sorry, I still got the energy from yesterday. The crash out is like not even fucking over. Christopher, thank you so much for the $10 on Patreon. If you like the show, if you like the crash outs, fucking link tree in the bio, guys. You can follow the second account, which I am going to add as a guest right now. You can follow me over there for when this account gets banned for me saying the word coward too much, because coward is a word that gets every fucking comment hidden on Instagram. You know what I did when I woke up this morning, everybody? I went and unhid 100 comments on my Instagram video of me crashing out at a coward for not turning on his camera yesterday, because it fucking sucks that Instagram censors anybody who uses the word coward when talking about an obvious fucking coward. People can use the N-word on Instagram and they don't get hidden. They get hidden for fucking coward. Oscar's pissed. We're starting with pissy Oscar today. Follow Oskar Quentin too. Go to the link tree in my bio. Send me some fucking money so that I can yell at people for a fucking living, because that's what I fucking do now. Ah! Okay. Where are we? We're going to talk to Jacob. How old are you?
Hey, how's it going, man? 26?
It's not going so great. Lots of people are coming up to my show and saying reprehensible things and refusing to turn on their camera. I hope that's not you, but at this time, I'm not going to require you to turn on your camera. Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm not, no.
Oh, just looking for oppositional debates with Trump supporters right now. Caden Stack with 2 A's, 727. I think I remember that username. I don't remember who this is, though.
Yo,
Hello, how old are you? Hello, how old are you?
I am 28. Nigger.
Yeah. Could have maybe gotten past the age question if he said something that wasn't as unbelievable as 28. We're going to talk to @Gabuchi, GABUCHI101. This is it. The show's canceled. The traders won't take their masks off, so the show's not going to happen anymore.
Yo, what's up?
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay, I don't know if I believe it. What year were you born?
89.
Okay, that tracks. Do you support Trump?
Hell yeah, I support Trump.
Why?
Because he's deporting all these illegals.
Camera on.
Why?
Because I don't think you're serious.
Bro, I can turn on my camera anytime. Hold on.
Let's do it.
I'm right here, bro. What's up?
All right, hold on. Let me just put you up on the big thing. So just say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. I support Trump.
Okay, thank you.
I believe in deporting all illegals.
Why is that?
Now what?
You don't have to keep
Because
the camera up, but I just want to make sure that you're a serious person. Yeah.
So, all right, I believe in what do you call it? Deporting all illegals.
Yeah. Why? Why?
Right.
Who benefits from that?
Who benefits from that? Americans benefit from that.
In what way?
Right? We're always in competition with freaking H-1B visa bastards.
The economists
Right?
suggest that the impact that this cohort has on the
F1
economy is very. No, I'm sorry, you're already trying to list and ramble. But I think you can find individual examples where one person with one particular type of job maybe is less likely to get that job because of skilled laborers coming over on H-1B visas. Sorry, tongue tied on that always. Anyway, you can find those examples. Great, congratulations. I don't give a shit. They're better for the economy on average. They're better for people on average.
Look, I don't want to compete with foreigners for a job in America, first of all.
Why does it matter to you that they're foreigners? Do you care about competing with people who are here? Like who are already here? Legal immigrants or citizens or birthright citizens or whatever?
Illegals. I don't believe in competing for a job, right, among the illegals. I don't want to compete for a job, right, with an illegal.
Right, but they help the jobs market. That's what the economists tell us.
Now, if you want to label
you're just
them,
you're just steamrolling past. Like you have this claim, which is that your job hunt is harder because of the illegal immigrant. I'm telling you, that's bullshit. The people who study it say otherwise. What's your evidence of that?
Bro, I compete with H-1B visa holders all the time.
They aren't illegal immigrants. Which one are we talking about, dude? Make some fucking sense.
H-1B visas should be considered illegal immigrants too. They should deport those bastards too.
Yeah, but they're not. So are we talking about illegal immigrants or legal immigrants? Something tells me that you're not qualified for the sorts of jobs that you'd be competing with those skilled immigrant laborers on.
Illegal immigrants and legal immigrants both should be reported. Both should be deported.
So what? You're just fucking hateful? Like what the fuck, dude? Like you don't. Thank you very much, Craig, for the galaxy. No, dude, it's like my whole problem here is that like you're saying that it's because you want a better job. I'm sitting here saying, the economists actually point out that these people are helpful for your economic circumstances. You're more likely to be economically prosperous in your life if we let the illegal immigrants stay. Why are you so interested in that piece of information? Or why are you so uninterested in that piece of information? That turns the whole thing on its head, unless it's that you just hate them out of some sort of nationalism or pride or something. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me why you're not interested in the fact that you're wrong about the effect that these people have on the jobs market.
Hold on. Can you repeat your question again? What'd you say again? Repeat your statement again.
My claim is that illegal immigrants do not hurt the jobs market. You are worried about them taking your jobs. Square that for me. Make it make sense.
All right. Let me make it sense for you. My homie Ricardo, he's a U.S. citizen. All right. And he went to jail. Then when he went to jail, all right, he got like a felony, right? He got a couple of misdemeanors. He came out. He could not get a job in the traditional job market, right? So what he did was he decided to go and cut grass and be a handyman. My homie Ricardo, with a U.S. citizenship, gotta compete with Pedro Flamenco.
Dude, I'm not interested in your fucking anecdote. I don't give half a shit what your friend saw. I don't care. I care about data. How many people live in this country?
Data, bro.
No, it's not. Data is plural. That is a datum. That is one piece of data. That's fucking nothing. How many people live in this country?
I don't know, like 350 million?
Something like that. Do you think that you have an accurate perspective about what life is like for those people or what life is going to be like for them because of the actions of 12 million undocumented immigrants based on what your friend fucking did? You know that's fucking nonsense, dude. Grow the fuck up.
Bro, if I got a felony and I got to be a handyman, right, I should not compete with the illegals.
Dude, you're just not tracking the fucking conversation at all. This is insane.
Right.
I'm gonna let you chew on it for a second. I'm gonna let you try to come up with a better answer for why you think illegal immigrants are bad for you, because I don't think you've offered me a good reason. I think I've offered some good counter arguments that you aren't addressing, and you're just bringing up some anecdotal bullshit. So I'm gonna thank some of my donors, because Tavi sent me $10 to say Trump has already said he wouldn't stop H-1B visas because Americans are not smart enough for all of the jobs that need to be filled. For some reason, they keep skipping over that. Yeah, very good point. Thank you for that $10, Tavi. Mark sent me $5 on YouTube Super Chat to say classic MAGA. I'm not qualified for a job and it's the immigrants' fault. Yeah, once again, just based on the fucking way that you talk, dude, I'm not even gonna, I'm in a pissy enough mood to just say this. Based on your demeanor and your behavior in this conversation, I doubt you're qualified for any sort of job that somebody with an H-1B visa is applying for. I think that's fucking nonsense. I think somebody who's qualified for such a job would know not to chew gum if they're calling into a show that 700 people are watching.
Nah, I'm eating breakfast. Right now, look.
Is that better? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, is that your defense that you're eating breakfast instead of chewing gum? You're being fucking noisy on my show is the point. Try doing that in a fucking job interview. You're gonna do that in a job interview. You're not gonna get the job, and then you're gonna say it's the fucking immigrant that caused you not to get fucking hired. You're gonna scapegoat them just like the fucking billions are. I'm trying to hear you out. Yeah, go ahead. I'm not done. No, you shush for a second. I'm not done reading my donors because Georgia sent me $20 on Venmo to say I had a fruitful week boarding nervous pups during the 4th of July, so I thought I'd share some with you and make your day a little better. Thank you for what you do, and fuck fireworks. Yeah, people who are watching the streams this weekend know my dog was very upset about the fireworks, so thank you for the work you do, Georgia. I really appreciate that.
Hear me out.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can you get the food out of your mouth before you start fucking talking? I wasn't lying, dude. There's 700 people watching.
I'm done chewing, right? Look, I go live too. I be getting a lot of viewers too.
Congratulations. Make some sense.
I do qualify for H-1B visa jobs and stuff. Like for example, right? I went and I became a ASP.NET developer, and I was competing with H-1B visas. I became a ServiceNow developer, and I was competing with H-1B visas. Right?
Are immigrants bad for the job market?
hold on. My homies, right, that got felonies have to compete with actual illegal immigrants. This is a fact, right? When they go and do construction jobs, they're competing with them. When they're doing handyman jobs, they're competing with them. When they're trying to become electricians, they're competing with them. Right? So this is really having it's. Look, you gotta understand something about America, bro.
I'm sorry. Is your argument that the illegal immigrant is taking jobs away from the felon? Is that like the people we're trying to defend here?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? Tough shit. Don't commit felonies unless you want to be the president. I'm not interested in that particular cohort. They've done some bad things to society and we make life a little bit difficult for them. I think it's admirable for employers to say, you know what, you're a felon, you can mop the floors in my job. But I'm not going to sit here and defend a person who fucked up in such a way that we had to put a label on him and say, hey, everybody, remember, this guy did that bad thing. He's fucking dangerous. I will remind everybody that Donald Trump earned that fucking label 34 times and we gave him a job in the fucking White House. I don't think the felon is necessarily at risk of not having a job in this country, considering we gave the most important job in this country to a felon.
Nah, bro. Like when it comes to corporations,
you're not gonna get a job. What the fuck does that even mean, dude? Like I'm not interested in your trust me, bro.
You're not gonna get a job with a felony. You gotta.
I'm sorry. Does Donald Trump have a job?
Handyman market.
Does Donald Trump have a job?
Donald Trump is a special case.
Oh, you aren't special?
I mean, all I'm advocating for is end of H-1B visas and end of illegal immigrants, right? And end of end of sending money, right, to these foreign countries, right? Prioritizing them instead of Americans. Like I don't like the fact that we send money to like Israel and
I don't either. Taiwan, I don't like that we have an illegal immigration problem. I think that's an issue. The claim that we started. No, I'm talking over you because you're moving on to all this other shit. We haven't addressed the first claim you made. Is that you wanted to deport the illegal immigrants because of the jobs market. The illegal immigrants are not bad for the jobs market. I asked you who would benefit from deporting them, and that's what you brought up. Why aren't you engaging with that question? Why are you moving on to all this other stuff? We're trying to have a conversation.
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
Pay attention, dude. Your claim is that the illegal immigrants in this country who you want deported are bad for the jobs market. The economists say otherwise. Do you have evidence for that claim? Because we're not talking. You're muddying it with H-1B visa.
You already threw out my most important claim. My most important claim, right, is okay. When are you going to become a handyman? When you got a felony? And you literally said, I don't care about felons. So it shows that you don't care about Americans that made bad decisions.
If the only group of people, specifically my claim is that if the only group of people who illegal immigrants are actually hurting the job market for is felons, I don't fucking care. I'd rather give a job to an illegal immigrant than to a felon.
Look, hold on.
I'm saying that's for good reason. Felons aren't a protected group. You understand that, right?
Oscar, I want to address something.
Do you? Do you really? Wait. I have a question. Is the thing that you're going to address your claim about illegal immigrants being bad for the jobs market for somebody other than felons? Are you a felon? Because we're talking about you, right?
I'm not a felon yet.
Yeah,
okay. I haven't committed a felony yet. Right, but that can happen.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that can happen.
God forbid you rape somebody and have a hard time getting a job because they let a fucking illegal immigrant sweep the floor instead of you. Is that really your fucking argument, dude? Can't believe you turned your camera on. Unbelievable.
You see, bro, like you have this hatred for Americans. Like,
dude, I'm the American in this call. I'm the fucking patriot. If you want to discuss the prompt and you want to discuss the fact that I'm sitting here exuding patriotism while you're sitting there,
Oscar, you're anti-American as fuck.
Hilarious,
dude. You're anti-American as fuck.
He already did turn his camera on. We got him, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, you can. Why am I un-American?
All right, let me tell you why you're un-American.
Are you familiar with why the country was started? Are you familiar with the values the founding fathers had regarding fascism? Are you familiar with what the poem on the foot of the Statue of Liberty on fucking Ellis Island, where we've allowed millions of people to come and share in the prosperous American dream? Are you aware of those values?
You're saying felons are not Americans. Felons are Americans.
That's not what I said. I didn't fucking say that. I think I said some very specific things about felons.
You literally believe, right, that illegals should take the jobs that felons should have.
I would rather. What I said is that I would personally
believe.
Okay, you keep talking over me while I try to clarify what I believe. Do you think it's working? Do you think you're gonna fool my audience into thinking I believe something that I don't? Do you think I'm gonna let that fucking slide on my show? Do you think I don't know what I'm doing? What is this? What is this conversation? What are we even fucking talking about? Why are you on my show?
You are a hate-filled American. You are anti-American like nobody's
I am filled with some hate for people like you for saying the things that you do and refusing to engage with the facts that show that your position is nonsense.
Bro, Antifa, are you kidding me? Right?
What does Antifa mean?
You're a communist, bro.
What? No, it doesn't. What? No, I'm not. What does Antifa mean? What does the word mean?
Antifa is anti-fascist.
What is, okay, are you pro-fascism?
You see,
Are you pro-fascism?
to an extent, yes.
Let's get that camera back up.
Look,
No,
right,
not optional. Camera back
there's
up.
okay. Wait a second. The Gestapo.
Nope.
Let's look at
Nope.
the
No, well, I would
Gestapo
love
for a
to.
second.
I would love to do that after you put your camera back on.
Hold on.
No, I'm not gonna hold on. No, you're gonna do it right now. I'm not interested in you saying a fucking word until you turn that camera back on.
Jesus, bro. Are you serious right now?
100%.
You want me to get on camera again?
I want to see that pretty face of yours. Tell me all about fascism with that camera.
Hold on, bro. At least let me go to a place where there's better lighting. You know what I mean? People saying that I look cooked and shit.
I can fucking respect
I don't look that cooked, bro. I look alright.
Yeah, it's not about what you look like. It's about the things you fucking saying. Now tell me how you're in favor of fascism. Tell me how you're in favor of fascism.
So look, right? ICE is a little bit fascist, right?
Yeah.
That's 100% true, right? But then that little bit of fascism that ICE has is a good thing, because what it's doing is it's getting rid. What the heck? People are just
Eyes
talking
up
hella
here,
shit,
buddy. Come on, focus.
right? They're just talking hella shit. But
Yeah.
look, right?
No shit.
The Gestapo. They went right to like different houses and they found the Jews and they kicked all of them out, right? ICE is kind of like that. They're the Gestapo of this generation. They need more power. They should have the ability to like knock on people's doors and ask them for their passports. They should have the ability to like stop people and ask for their documentations, but they can't even do that. They can't do that because we got crazy liberals that are trying to protect the illegals. Deport the illegals, bro. That's what I believe.
Camera. Why is your camera off? Get your camera back on.
How long you want me to keep this camera on, man? Hey, Gabuchi, why are you still here then?
Yeah, dude, I don't even have any fucking response, dude. You're just pro Gestapo?
Because
Like that's your fucking position? Like I don't even need to participate in this
destroyed you,
conversation
bro.
for you to look bad.
I destroyed you. What do you want me to say, right? This is why America voted for Trump. The reason they voted for Trump, they got sick and tired of
I have some donors to thank while you.
got sick and tired of the
I have some
cartel.
donors to thank while you ramble on about fascism in the corner. Good luck with that. Mercado Media, dude, Andrew, thank you so much for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. He says
Yes,
it's always
part
the
of the
same.
problem.
He says it's always the same roundabout arguments with these losers. Yeah, unfucking believable. Lucky Phil sent me $2. Seriously, Andrew, thanks. I'm glad to see you watching. Andrew was the guest on our evening show last night. For everybody who's not getting the context on that, thank you, Andrew Mercado. Lucky Phil sent me $2 on Buy Me a Coffee to say immigrants increase both supply and demand in the economy. Caller sounds mediocre at best and doesn't want to compete in a larger market. He'd rather compete in a smaller market with fewer people competing for fewer jobs. By the way, your felon friends would need to compete with people who aren't felons in any case. Sucks to suck. Yeah, I think that's kind of the point. I think that life is hard for felons for often very good reasons. So like, I'm just not interested in that argument. Hayden sent me $10 and Buy Me a Coffee to say keep up the good fight for truth and trying to educate all, even if they may not want it. Also, another point to back into the mass amnesty argument I wish you'd used on that MAGA communist a few episodes ago is union membership equals collective bargaining equals higher wages. Yeah, absolutely. Lucky Phil also sent me another $2 to say the mango man whose dick you're guzzling considers you subhuman because of the melanin in your skin and your accent. Get with it, man. Get on the right side of history. Yeah, he's probably alluding to the fact that, like, you know, people who look and sound like you can be detained for looking and sounding like you, and you're okay with that because you're pro Gestapo. That's fucking insane, dude. What the fuck?
Hold on. Oscar, let me address something. Somebody said, right, if I saw you, they would pull you over and ask you for your ID. Okay, that's cool, right? I would show them my passport.
Sorry, Michael Jasko sent me $2 to say, smell that? It smells like bitch in here. I agree, Michael.
Here's my driver license. Here's my social security. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The problem is there's people like you, Oscar, that's in government that is preventing ICE from stopping people and asking them for their IDs. You're saying no to stop and frisk, pretty much, even though that was for guns, right? You know, you should allow that. Allow ICE to go around.
And how did the Gestapo go in Germany? How did it work out for them?
In Germany, bro, they were just they were doing it out of. See, the problem was all the Jews were citizens. That was the problem.
Right.
All the Jews were,
So that made
German
it harder for
citizens.
them to achieve what
Right.
exactly?
You see, what the Nazis did was they targeted their own citizens. Right.
Right. That's
Now,
also
I'm not
happening
saying-
here because we have these Kavanaugh stops where people who are citizens can be stopped for the color of their skin or for their accent, and that often involves detention.
I will get stopped. I will get stopped. I will, like me. Like they see me on the streets, they're gonna stop me and then be like, "Yo, show me your passport or show me your ID."
What if you forget
I'm
it?
okay with it.
What if you forget it?
I'm okay with it.
What if you forget it?
Then we'll go home and
No, they don't take you
go
home.
grab
They
it.
take you to jail, right to jail, because you forgot your papers.
Okay,
You okay with that?
If they take me to jail, I'll be released the same day because in the database they'll find me.
Oh no, but what if it was the first day at that new job you're so concerned about having, and then you lose the job because you missed a day of work because you were detained by ICE? What if that fucking happens to you?
You're not good. Like you can always call your job and let them know that you got detained. That's all
Does
good.
that always work? 100% of the time they're going to be okay with you missing a bunch of work because the fucking Gestapo are detaining you? You fucking pretzel logic, dude. Fucking insane what you're supporting.
I used to have a
Jazz
job.
Bearing Club, Jazz Bearing Crab sent me $5 on YouTube Super Chat to say, no, caller. You would get pulled over, beaten, and thrown in an
last
unmarked
job,
car.
actually, I
ICE
started
doesn't
you
ask for
guys.
identification. They just take you. That shit does
Gabuchi,
happen
you
sometimes. Why don't you recognize that this would be a big fucking problem for lots of people, including yourself? I don't understand it.
Bro, look, I feel like liberals need to be deported.
Oh, I should be deported?
Yeah.
Why?
Your liberal ass needs to be deported because you are talking hella anti-American shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you familiar with the First Amendment?
Yeah. You see, the First Amendment, right, is the First Amendment, but then like you're full of hate, and there should be another amendment to deport your fucking liberal ass.
Yeah, I think you're trolling, dude. I don't think you're fucking serious.
I was trolling in that instance, but all the other shit, I'm 100% serious.
Nah, dude, I don't believe him. I'm glad we got the camera on for fucking one of them. Holy shit, there's a lot of Venmo donations to read. Thanks, everybody. This is fucking wild. Oh my god, where was I? Okay, hold on. I didn't read Garrett. Okay, I've got a bunch to read. So sorry, everybody. Link tree in the bio if you want to support the show. We're doing cameras on today. We're taking the masks off on the Oskar Quentin show. We're talking to people who support fucking fascism. I don't think that guy supported fascism. I just think he didn't give a shit. I think that was a troll. Also, he is so subject to the horrors he's describing. I can't believe that he's defending the Gestapo. I've not had somebody call on the show and defend the fucking Gestapo, much less somebody who's not white. Fucking insane. Garrett sent me $10 on Venmo to say, ask him if he was okay with the white South Africans the administration is happily welcoming into the country. Yeah. My God. What is going on in America? Emily sent me $25 to say, I've worked in HR for over a decade and this guy is a donut. In order for a company to be allowed to hire an H-1B candidate for a role, they have to prove substantial efforts to hire an American candidate first. This guy can't hack it. Sorry, bro. Yeah, once again, I think that he's just as mad that he's not getting the jobs he wants, which, I'm mad about that too. That's why we're trying to go after the billionaires, bud. Wasn't the fucking immigrants. They're the scapegoat and you're falling for it. Unbelievable. Garrett sent another $5 to add. Actually, just tell him he's a moron. I think he listened to a little more of the conversation and realized that more nuanced argument wasn't going to work on that guy. David, Rogue Ghost in the chat, says for $5 on Venmo, guest list one prominent form, one promotion from an H-1 visa recipient and now wants, tongue-tied today. Guest lists one promotion from an H-1 visa recipient, and now he wants them all to be gone because he deserves participation trophy. Yeah, he's just a snowflake who wants to feel better about his own situation. And I want him too. I'm for the Republicans. Don't seem to fucking realize we're advocating for. David says for another $5 on Venmo, guest lost and then it's bleeped. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. Courtney sent me $2 on Venmo to add. Guest facial hair is hiding from ICE. Yeah. It's fun watching the chat trash on the people. I certainly don't have to do it. The chat's got me covered there. Jermaine sent me $5 on Venmo. Love the show. Thank you for his camera on. He will forever be blackballed from my something company. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? People are afraid of losing their jobs by defending this shit. Well, tough shit. If you lose your job because you're a felon or a bigot or whatever. David sent me another $5 to say, am I supposed to let it happen when they come for you because I'm a pale white kid from the burbs? They're going to take you before they take me. Yeah, dude, they're gonna fucking take that dude. He doesn't care. He's pro-fascism, pro-Gestapo. Read the fucking poem. You know the one, First They Came. I will, Phil. I will read the poem out loud for a second because it's a short one. need to have this shit. I need to save this poem I need to print it out, put it on the wall, put it on my desktop background or something. The poem reads, first they came for the communists and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists and I did not speak out because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me and there was no one left to speak out for me. People don't fucking get it, man. They don't know history. They don't know what they're fucking in for. Linktree's in the bio if you want to follow me on the other platforms, watch the show when I'm off air in podcast form on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram and stuff. Yeah, I'll get to the super chats and things. W's in the chat for Jesse on keeping me on task on the other side of the room. I've got my live producer today. Hayden also sent me $2 on Buy Me a Coffee to say, Ice has Kavanaugh stopped his brain. Burn! Appreciate that, Hayden. And then we're going to hop over to YouTube super chat. And we're going to see what we got over here. Tim, for $2, wanted me to ask the caller what shape the Earth is. Good question. I think that was a guy. The guy was a troll. He'd probably tell me if it was flat. Jazz sent $2 to say, so he's literally just a Nazi, fucking deranged. But yeah, that's why I didn't even fucking engage with it. It's just like pro Gestapo, pro fascism, fucking really. No. And then Jazz said, no, caller, you wouldn't get pulled over. Yeah, I read that one out about him getting beaten by ICE. Absolute fucking insanity. We're gonna hop into the guest request queue if I can do it without my cat bumping the mouse too much. We'll see who's next. We're gonna talk to Deft, D-E-F-T. We're gonna see if Deft is daft or not.
Hey, it's
Hello.
Deft. I was pressing roses. Can I actually ask you, what is that flag behind your head though? It's I've never seen that. It's
this
cool.
one? Yeah. I bought it at Pride Weekend here in Minneapolis just a week ago. It's the Rebel Loon, which is like the rebellion symbol that we the ICE organizers have been using here in Minnesota.
Nice.
But it's got some Pride colors on it, and I just saw it hanging on a stand at Pride, and I thought, you know what, I want that in my background. So I gave the man $20. He gave me that flag. I rather like it,
dude. Hey, big fan.
W's in the chat for Def. Appreciate him hopping up briefly. We're going to talk to somebody whose username is just 3 banana emojis. We're going to see if he's going to earn a banana from TikTok for saying the N-word on my show. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20. Are you a Trump supporter?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm young. I'm 20. I guess I have a few questions.
Yeah, sure. What are they?
Okay. Here, I can turn my camera on since we're doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Hello.
So my aunt, my uncle married a woman that he met in college, and she's from Mexico. She was born in Mexico, and she took a U.S. citizen test, and it was very stressful for her, and she harps on taking this U.S. citizen test. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about it, but that's just
sure
what I was told.
Well, so one thing I say about
because
this,
I don't know, I'm struggling because I'm not sure what I'm talking about.
That's fair, and I can see you're a little nervous in the spotlight, so I'll put myself back up on the big camera. I was just doing cameras for the bigots mostly, so I appreciate you showing your face, but I'm not requiring it of everybody. The thing about the citizenship test that's interesting to me is that most of the people who are supporting Donald Trump and wanting to deport all these people would fail that test. Most of these people don't know what the 3 branches of the government are, or really what the president's job actually is, or anything like that. So when it comes to that sort of thing, I think that that sort of requirement for citizenship, it makes sense if you're trying to get entry to the country and become a citizen. But I'm a little disappointed that we've failed to make that an educational requirement for people who are here. But you brought that up as kind of a topic relating to your being on the fence about Trump. I mean, so how does that influence your political perspective?
I'm going to be honest. This is my last question, and then you guys can let me go. Okay. Because I'm not here to argue, and you guys can say, why are you smiling and laughing? But I'm just...
I'll be straightforward.
Okay.
I used to teach public speaking. The way that you reacted suggested to me you had a little bit of stage fright when the camera went up.
Well, duh. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people who don't call in don't realize there's a lot of people watching. It's very nerve-wracking sometimes to call in.
I'll get comfortable. Okay. So my dad is very, very Republican. He is extremely, he would carry a Trump sign everywhere with him. And I used to be Republican, but now I'm registered to vote, but I don't know. I don't want to vote. I don't want to vote. And he tells me that it's wrong. He tells me that it's worse for me to not vote.
Well, I think voting is really, really important. But I can understand that if a person's not necessarily super educated about who they vote for or who they should vote for, it's important to get educated. But I also urge people not to vote like their parents. You should, maybe you should, because maybe they're voting for the right person, but you should really research what's going on. And if you're an undecided voter, the thing that I'll say, if you just want to get a couple things out about voting the next time you have the opportunity to vote in a big important election is in the midterms in November. And
I would not let my parents dictate who I vote for, because I am my own person. But
yeah, that's good. That's good. Right now, I think the midterms are really important because the Republicans are breaking a lot of rules in the government. They're doing a bunch of unconstitutional stuff. I spend a lot of time on the show talking about what those things are, and it's the Republicans in Congress in particular, the representatives and the senators in the House and Senate, the two chambers of Congress. It's those people whose job it is to get rid of the president or keep his power in check or resist the sorts of things that he does. In some ways, that's like part of our checks and balances. And a big problem that we have is there's so many Republicans in Congress that are loyal to what Trump wants instead of to what their job is supposed to be, what they're supposed to do for the American people, the rules that they're supposed to follow in the government. So I think the midterms are really important to vote those people out. And generally, it's the blue candidates who are against all of this because of the partisan situation in the country. So I'm not the most gung-ho Democrat. I'm not super excited about establishment Democrats at all. But I think there's an emergency happening in the country with our democracy and with our Constitution. And the people who are going to address it aren't Republicans right now. And that's
what is our best choice financially?
Financially, so this is tricky because a lot of Republicans advertise that they have fiscal policies that are good for certain people, and they are often good for very, very wealthy people. But you have to be so wealthy for these policies to be beneficial to you. They're kind of tricking a lot of middle income and lower income voters into thinking that Republicans are going to make it more likely for them to become rich. And that's just not at all true.
Not true. Okay.
Yeah, it's the Democrats who are doing these policies that, yes, are expensive on the tax burden. It's expensive to do things in the government that help poor people, but doing those things and taxing everybody a little bit for it makes our lives better on average. Who cares if your taxes are a few percent higher if you're able to get that better job, if you're able to buy the nicer car, if whatever you want from your life. So the Republicans will tell you that it's them, but in reality they're really only protecting like a super ultra wealthy class of people who can avoid taxes. Almost everybody else loses by hurting the economy in that way, hurting the jobs market in that way. Hurting people's cost of living. Cost of living is a real problem right now. People's wages aren't going up fast enough for how much cost of living is going up, and that just makes life hard. You're a young person. You want to have fun, right? Like, you've got a couple decades of fucking around and partying and shit in front of you. You want to have the time. Well, I don't know how you spend your free time, but my point is you want to be able to have fun. You don't want to have to slave for rent for the next 10 or 20 years. And the Democrats are trying to address that. We're like people on the left really want to create policies that make it easier to escape poverty, make it easier to just get your basic needs met when you are in poverty, so that you're more likely to have the time and space to get skilled enough or whatever you need to go find a better job and live a better life. That's what we're all about. It's very for the people. Like, we just want.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I've heard the opposite. I've heard that Trump he helped us all financially, but with Biden, he would. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, so you may have heard a lot, and I there's this difficult thing where, like, I hate to say it, but straightforwardly, the vast majority of people who have an argument that, like, the Democrats are going to be bad for somebody like you or me instead of the Republicans, like, they say a bunch of nonsense that isn't true, or they, like, really misrepresent things. Like, people say, here's something that's technically true that people will say, which is that Biden, during Biden's term, we had the highest level of inflation in decades, and that's true. That did happen.
No, I think that was with Biden. That
was while Biden was president, but those people tend to leave out why there was such high inflation. And the reason there was such high inflation is because of the pandemic. There's a bunch of things about the pandemic that, when it started, actually caused a reduction in inflation, because people were spending so little money that prices went down because people were scared and staying home and stuff like that. But we did a bunch of the first big expensive thing that Trump did at the end of his first term to address that was to send a check for $1,200 to everybody. I think you were a little too young to have received it, because this was 6 years ago now. But I got a check with Donald Trump's signature on it for $1,200, and I paid my rent with it. And if you send money to the American people, it causes, over the course of like a year or two, inflation to go up because you're injecting so much money into the market. It devalues the dollar for everybody. So you need more dollars to buy something. That's what inflation is. So there's a bunch of stuff that we did. That's an example of one of those things. But there's a bunch of stuff that Biden did at the end of his first term, that Trump did at the end of his first term, that Biden did at the beginning of his only term, that we knew were going to be really expensive, and the price we were going to pay is that the inflation rate was going to go up. So if we look at the policies that were passed during Biden's term, they were things specifically designed to attack that inflation rate. Things like the American Rescue Plan, the infrastructure bill, all these things that actually created government spending that addressed the economic circumstances that were created by the pandemic. So if you look at economic indicators in America, you can look at this big wiggle in the graph and go, holy shit, look at the pandemic fucking everything up. And then Biden's term was like the pandemic recovery term. He got us out of it. We can compare how we did with other countries. And there's some countries that did better than us, but generally, economically, we did an amazing job getting out of the hole that the pandemic put us in. It'd be like if the house was on fire, so you had to buy, a fire extinguisher or a big hose or something that was expensive, and you put yourself in credit card debt to put out the fire. Well, he dealt with the debt. He dealt with the bill that we were left to pay by saving America from the pandemic to the degree that we were able, because it was a global emergency. Those wiggles happened in the graph for everybody, everywhere on the planet. And Biden did a good job addressing it, and that makes me wonder what could have Biden accomplished with his economic policies if we weren't in such a bad place when he started. And that's not even Trump's fault. It's not Trump's fault at all that the economy was in the shitter.
It is on fire. No, I think we're doing better. I think we're doing better, but I am going to get going soon. I just want to say that I am not MAGA. I am not. I wanted to ask a few questions and thank you. And
no, you said you were a fence sitter, so I wanted to talk.
You guys are very hateful and distasteful, and you guys need to just be nice. Like I'm not here to hurt anybody. Okay, but I'll see you around. Thank you so much, Oscar. And
sorry, I cut her off. Thanks for calling. And be nice to people who are on the fence, especially young people in the chat. Come on, like if somebody's curious, don't give them a hard time. That's not what we're trying to do here. Okay, hold on. Donations are coming in because Ellie sent me $50 on Buy Me a Coffee. It says, I think this actually works internationally with card only. Anyways, yay, Oscar. Yeah, I think Buy Me a Coffee does work internationally. People have been asking for the PayPal for that. So fucking thank you, Ellie, for the $50. That's crazy. And yeah, for reminding me to shout out to the Buy Me a Coffees. I think the international option. Lucky Phil adds, I'm Australian. I pay a few % more in tax money than Americans. I also don't pay for health insurance, have heavily subsidized pharmaceuticals, and have high quality of life in expensive Sydney than my MAGA American brother in Texarkana, or as I call the place, Dumbfuckistan. When you responsibly fund stuff that makes society better, guess what? Society gets better. Yeah, that's kind of where we were going with that caller, is like, the Republicans point at the cost of all these things, but they don't recognize that the benefit is just for everyday people, and that's such a big deal. It matters so much. I Hate Milk sent $5 on YouTube Super Chat to say, as a woman, minimally, you run the risk of death over abortion restriction. Vote blue. Should be an easy choice. Yeah, I wish I got to talk to her for longer. And guys, I mean it. I saw her, like, when she put her camera up, and I like the body language in me. I was like, this is stage fright. She knows that she's talking to 500 people. She's just totally spooked. Huh? Are you still mic'd up? You should be.
You guys hear me?
Hold on. Are you plugged in? Give me a tap on the mic. Give me an aggressive tap on the mic.
That's an aggressive tap. Yeah, I'm mic'd. The monitor's going up.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, you guys do be nice to her. That was me when I was her age. I was swayed by the fact that my fiance at the time was heavily MAGA, and so I leaned that way as well. I was young and I was just trying to figure out the world, and it's the patience of the people who were willing to deconstruct those views for me that brought me over to this team. So be kind to your neighbors, especially your young ones. We're still figuring the world out, because if they're just met with hate from our side of the political spectrum, that's all they'll associate us with. Be kind.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse. W's in the chat for Jesse for waking up early after staying up late, because we were up late hosting the members only. Thanks for the galaxy, Candace. I appreciate you. Let's talk to Green Room, get him out of the waiting room for the callers, and bring Green Room into the show. And we'll see if we have another camera on episode. Another camera on call. Hello, how old are you?
I'm 18. I just turned 18 in May.
Okay,
So,
I believe. Yeah. Are you a Trump supporter?
My bad. I'm kind of leaning because I'm kind of new to this. But I was originally going to come in here to argue, but I've heard some of your points. And it kind of, I just want to know, like, hold on. I just want to know, like, why you think Trump is so bad and why you think Democrats are doing, like, so much better than Republicans. If you could kind of give me a grasp on that.
Long list of grievances that I have with Donald Trump, but when people ask me just point blank, I put all the issues aside. I say, forget about abortion, forget about trans rights, forget about the economy, forget about all this shit. You're 18. I'm not sure the perspective you have on politics in this country. Do you think it's important that the president follow the Constitution? That's the first question I want to ask you.
I think that's one of the most important things that a president should do.
Yeah. Your head's on straight about that. It's what the oath is sworn to when they start the job. They put their hand up and they swear to defend and uphold the Constitution, the rules in the Constitution. Because the Constitution is the foundation of our government and legal system. It's the base of all of our rules. All of the rules that we have either have to work with the Constitution or we have a couple of ways that we can adjust what the Constitution says. We can put amendments on it. The legislative branch does that, or we can maybe change the interpretation. We can reinterpret the Constitution to catch up to modern times. That's what the Supreme Court does. That's the judicial branch.
Right.
The president works in the third branch of government, the executive branch, which doesn't have those responsibilities, because the founding fathers said it's real important that this foundational document that everything is based on, that one guy that we put in charge. The reason the executive branch is sensible as like a system in government is because you do need a guy in charge. You do need a guy who's in charge of the military, so that if somebody invades us or something like that, we don't have to wait for a fucking bill to get passed, or we don't have to wait for the Supreme Court to be in session to deal with it. We have a guy whose job it is to execute executive authority in such emergencies. That's one of the president's job. That's why he's the commander in chief. But it's so important that the way that we adjust our understanding of the Constitution or amend it, those are not the responsibilities of the president, because if we give those powers to the president, he stops being a president. That becomes a dictator because he's in charge of the whole system if he has that type of control over it. So just in a nutshell, my problem with Trump is that he's working really hard to not respect the fact that it's not his job to adjust the meaning of the Constitution. There are tons of examples of that I could give that I talk about on the show often, a lot, every day. Right. But broadly, we have a president who's misbehaving. It's usually the legislator's job to take care of that by impeachment, but the Republicans are loyal to him, which is why I think it's important to vote against them in the midterms. It's more important that you vote against them than that you vote for somebody blue. It just so happens that in the midterms, in almost every election, the two are one and the same. A vote for the blue team is a vote against the red team in most of these elections. So I think that's important for what's going on right now. I consider it an emergency. The guy's not following the rules. And then if I look at his character and I think about the things he's going to do while not following the rules, the things that he has done while not following the rules, it's fucking bad. He's taking people's rights away. I'm worried about it.
Right. So aside from just Trump, like in the 2028 election, because I'm kind of like flipping between sides. What are Democrats doing so right in your mind that Republicans aren't doing?
Well, I mean, that was kind of the broad strokes of it, is that they're following the Constitution. They're recognizing that we have certain rights that are really, really important to making sure that we get to remain free and get to continue living the American dream, as many of us are trying to do. So I can look at particular things like economic policy. We just spent a long time with the previous caller talking about how, people say that if we're going to pick a topic like the economy, that Biden did a bad job, but that's just nonsense. If we look at the actual policies that Democratic leadership put in place, they're things that benefit the economy. They help the inflation rate, they help the jobs market, they help the ratio of people's wages increases versus cost of living, which is the math problem that makes all of our lives difficult. If the groceries get more expensive, but you don't get a raise, that creates a problem. You have less money left over. If you didn't have enough money to pay for the extra groceries, now you need to work more hours and your life gets harder and you're eating the same crappy groceries. In fact, they're getting worse because the evil companies that sell the groceries are like making them shittier and not changing the price. They're still letting the price go up. So like those sorts of things that actually affect everyday people, those are the sorts of things that the economists agree the Democrats are doing a very good job of addressing when they have the control to. So we could talk about individual particular things, but just across the board, the Republicans are not trying to protect everyday people like you and me. They're trying to protect the bottom line of corporations and billionaires.
Right. So my question is, another question I have is, how do you think that Trump, with how he's dealing with ICE, is different than how Obama was dealing with it? Because both of them, if we look at straight statistics, they're both controlling the border really well. If we're looking at the illegals that are coming into our country. So my question is, how do you feel that those two differentiate from each other?
Well, people can look at things like Obama's deportation statistics and see that he actually deported quite a lot of people. His administration did. There's two issues that I take with ICE, and they're both ways in which the policies are a little different from the Obama administration. One is that I don't like the immigration laws. Like, never mind what ICE is actually up to. The laws that they are enforcing are not the way that I would deal with the immigration situation. The immigration situation has changed drastically since Obama's administration, because it is true, it is a fact that there was an unusual amount of illegal immigration during Biden's term. So we now have to deal with the fact that this number is up at 12 million people or something.
Right.
We don't know exactly, but it's a big number. It needs to be addressed. I don't agree with those policies. I don't think that deporting all those people is the right solution. I think there's a better solution, both for the economy and just as a humanist, as somebody who cares about human suffering. So I disagree with the fact that we're enforcing laws that I don't like, but I wouldn't be so mad at ICE if they were just enforcing laws that I didn't like. I also don't like the way that they're enforcing the laws, because they have been shown to do it in ways that are really, first of all, illegal, not allowable under the Constitution or local laws, but also just really dangerous and harmful. I live in Minneapolis, and I lived here through Metro Surge, and I saw what it did to this community. And it's really scary to live in that kind of police state where this mission of deporting these people who are just trying to work and feed their families is suddenly so much more important than public safety. It wasn't unusual to round a street corner and see a big messy car accident and go, oh yeah, an ICE agent T-boned somebody while going through an intersection. It was happening regularly.
Well, yeah, ICE has also, I feel another thing, ICE has been doing this for a long time. Like when I was really young, I think I was like 9 or something. My brother's like best friend growing up, he was Mexican, I think Puerto Rican, but they took him and his family, deported just him, separated him and his family in 2 different parts of Mexico. And now, because my brother's, he still has contact with them, but my brother, I'm sorry, I'm getting way off track.
Okay. Sounds like you've had a brush with it. I mean, yeah. I'm not. Are you saying that happened during Obama's term?
Something, I don't know how long ago it was exactly, but I was 9, so probably around his term. But all I'm saying is it's way worse now, but it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. Well, there's. When I talk about the constitutional violations of ICE agents, them really harming society, like the thing that gets missed in discussions in the media a lot is like the deportation figures don't tell you everything. Just because Obama's administration deported that many people doesn't mean that they were speeding through residential neighborhoods irresponsibly. It doesn't mean that they were tear gassing civilians. It doesn't, all this craziness that's happening.
Right.
That's a result of Trump's direction. And people like to bring up there's something like 50 or 60 deaths involved with ICE agents during Obama's terms, and they were investigated and they each had their own thing. And there's nobody at the top. Nobody was saying those people deserve to die. Nobody is making fun of them. Nobody is investigating their families and their friends. But that's what we see with people like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, who are not, ICE has killed more than 2 people during Trump's current administration. They're just the only non-immigrant white people who got killed in a conspicuous way for protesting what they were doing. So there's a lot of attention on that. And here's something that there just was 0 of during Obama's term, because we can look at these numbers and say, okay, there's a bad behaving ICE agent here or there, but we didn't see an ICE agent misbehave and then have the president or the head of Homeland Security or whoever else is in charge defend what they did. Stephen Miller went on television and lied about Alex Preddy. He said that he was an armed assassin who came to kill and cause maximal damage, or a bunch of fucking nonsense like that. Yeah. That's just not true. People said that he drew his weapon, which he didn't do, not at all. His hands never touched a weapon, never went in the vicinity of it. These are lies being told by the people at the top to defend the bad behavior of the people at the bottom, the ICE agents themselves. That didn't happen during Obama's administration. That didn't happen during Biden's administration. That defending that sort of lawlessness, that's new. And that's very scary.
Right. And that's all I wanted to ask. You have some really good points. And thank you. You definitely opened my eyes a lot. So I appreciate that. Everyone should follow you.
W's in the chat for Green Room. I appreciate you for being open-minded. And I'll let you go if that's all you got.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. How nice. We're having a nicer show than I thought. Maybe cameras on for bigotry is the thing. Because like that's a caller who didn't need to turn his camera on. He was just a kid and wanted to talk about it. That's great. I'm not gonna demand that. But yeah, I think we're gonna play the game where if you're a bigot, you gotta turn your dang camera on. If you like that, if you like the show, link tree in the bio. You can find me when I'm not live the other 22 hours of the day by looking at the VODs on YouTube, or follow me on Instagram so you can keep up with what I'm doing. Got some projects and stuff I'm working on that are going to get posted on there. Yeah. Who do we got? We got not AJ Tiniakos. Not AJ Tiniakos. Tiniakos, is that Greek? We're going to go with AJ. I'm going to see how old. We're going to check AJ's age. If he connects, which it looks like maybe he's teacupped and doesn't know that he's in the queue, so I'm going to let him go. Goodbye. We're going to talk to Leo. Maybe his birthday's coming up if he's a Leo. Oh, let's see if he actually connects or if he's teacupped. Hello. How old are you?
Hey, 39.
You a Trump supporter?
No, sir.
Just looking for debates right now, so I'm going to talk to Dog Emoji. And then Aaron, I see you're the last one in the queue, Aaron, so maybe we'll talk a little bit. Okay, so that's how it goes. We know what Trump supporters are like. God, when they repeat it like that, like, when they're just saying it over and over and over again, it's like, you can almost hear how practiced it is, how much time that guy says, that guy spends much of his life muttering the N-word into a microphone. That's something he's gotten good at. Fucking congratulations. We are going to talk to Aaron, but I think I might just use this call because Aaron's an interesting caller. Aaron's kind of a how you doing, Aaron? Remind me how old you are.
Hey, Oskar, 23. I forgot that we were doing this. I had this request still sitting there, but happy to chat.
Yeah, I think I am just going to say, you're an interesting enough caller that I think I want you to be my Sunday evening guest. Would you take a Zoom call and put your camera on and do the show with me?
I'll put my camera on right now. I'm not afraid.
No, yeah. I mean, whether you want to right now is irrespective for me. But if we do the evening show, it is both of our faces on screen at the same time. It's kind of a more the idea is it's like a more official looking type of thing. Because we've started an interesting conversation twice. Once we got cut for time. The other time we got cut because you accidentally said a word you're not allowed to say on TikTok, and I had to kick you.
Can you give me the spiel right now so I'm educated?
TikTok rules spiel because last time you actually had to.
Yeah, so there's certain words that you just can't say. So self-unaliving, if you K-I-I-L-L.
That's what got me last time.
Yeah, can't refer to that. TikTok doesn't like discussions about that topic, which is actually one of the reasons I wanted to move you to the Sunday show, because I know you wanted to talk about euthanasia as like a medical option for adults, and that was getting tangled up in your beliefs about abortion because you think about them very similarly.
I understand the hesitation now.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then we covered it. There's like the only other really solid auto kick where I just have to immediately disconnect you is if you say something that TikTok considers to be a slur, like the F word that people say about gay people or the N word that people say about people of color, or variants of those words, or the names of substances. Like that group of things: the self-unaliving, the substances, and the slurs. Those are the three S's that'll get you banned right the fuck away. And then other than that, it's kind of just complicated.
I don't use slurs, so that's a good thing. That's great.
Yeah. But I think I am gonna move on to the next caller because seriously, dude, I'm so fascinated by you. I wanna package our conversation into something better than one of the random calls on this show.
Yeah, that's all right. Just and I'm happy to talk to either you or Jesse over DMs. Can you give me a sense of what the timing would be? I could do logistics live here, but
the show goes, well, it's advertising for the show. The show goes live at 7 p.m. Central Time on Sundays, and I can be a little bit flexible if that doesn't exactly work for you, but that's generally what we aim for every week.
Yeah, that sounds good. And just so you know, I do work a full-time job during the work week, so if I have to cancel, I'll let you know. I just happen to have today off for July 4th, W America, but hey. I will, that should be good. Just please DM.
Yeah, you got me. I saw you on Instagram. We can be in touch there. I saw you message me there.
And in general, I'm also happy to talk about social issues if you ever want like a non-incoherent perspective on like why the right thinks what it does. I think it's just important for this kind of dialogue to exist. I'm not just a religious fundy. I am also that, but I'm happy to talk about other things. But anyway, if you want to chat with other people, take care.
Appreciate you, Aaron. I appreciate the logistics. We'll Yeah, well, the idea is like noteworthy guests on the Sunday evening show, but one idea I've had is like to take particular callers and spotlight them with the Sunday evening show when they're a call that's actually just something that isn't the cookie cutter call that I have with everybody on here. And I've spoken to that guy, I don't know, probably did 10 or 15 minutes the first day and then maybe 20, 30 mintes the second day before I had to auto kick him. Or I'm the one who hit the button, but I had to kick him to prevent the show from getting auto kicked. So yeah, I think that one deserves a spotlight, but I won't get much more into it right now. Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Time. I'm in Minnesota, so it's Central Time Zone. Linktree in the bio to follow everything. That show is only on YouTube because as we were just talking about, really you don't need to have a filter on YouTube at all. You can say whatever the fuck you want. The guests can say slurs on the show and I don't have to immediately kick them. We had Tom Evanstad come up and he used the N-word a whole bunch while trying to win the black vote for governor. But I didn't have to kick him. I didn't have to nuke the show because of that moment. It just got to be a horrible moment that I called him out for and we continued on. So we're gonna see if Gabe gets auto-kicked. I hope not. I hope we get a good debate.
Oh, my bad, man.
Yeah, he did. Goodbye, Gabe. Doo-doo the Omnist Shepherd. Bizarre name. Hello, how old are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm 37.
37. Are you a Trump supporter?
No.
Okay, just looking for debates for now, but the queue is empty. So I will remind everybody on TikTok to get double tapping away on the screen. We're scaring away the bigots. I saw somebody was saying, like in the chat, like I saw people being like, hey, get this guy up, get the mods to request this guy up. And he responded, he's just going to yell at me to turn on his camera. And it's like, so you're a bigot. You admit it. It's going to be interesting facing the bigotry by trying to get them to show their faces. The video, I'm just going to take a moment because the queue's empty to celebrate. I'm excited about the crash out video. I had the big crash out at the end of yesterday's episode because I just absolutely fucking lost my mind about these cowards not showing their faces. And the video I'm getting lots of follows from it. Like that's the thing that's exciting. When I have a video that does well, that creates like a good follow ratio, it means that it's a video that really shows people that the show is worth watching. Yeah, the video, I have like more than 1,000 follows just from this video. It's fucking crazy. You should follow me on the other platforms if you want to see all the clips. But yeah, the crash out maybe has created a rule change, which is that we're going to start requesting the bigots turn their cameras on once they get down the bigotry rabbit hole, once they start saying things about women or
yeah, double check for donors.
yeah, I should double check for donors before I get a call started. W's in the chat for Jesse, live producer on the other side of the room, and W's in the chat for Raven, who's not here physically, but is here timestamping the episode and otherwise keeping track of some stuff to make sure that the show is successful.
I can't believe I caught a stray this morning already. We were like 2 seconds into live. I went to adjust the sign and I got called some ugly names, which is a little hurtful. But we're here for it. That's what they do.
Well, you know, you did some public service. That guy hasn't talked to a woman for a long time, obviously. Let's see. Oh yeah, Elusive Viper said, is the guest familiar with the elector plot and that the GOP didn't think it was worth removing Trump for? Yeah, Trump has done some amazingly illegal things that I cannot believe he wasn't successfully impeached and convicted for. Joker's asking in the chat, is Jess my girlfriend? No, don't like you at all, Jesse. You stay over there, the other side of the room. Jesse and I were friends before. We're like comedy scene musician buddies from before the Oskar Quentin show existed, which is why I trust her with the production work, because we have production experience together. So she's trusted with the live responsibilities. We're gonna talk to psycrowbob, fun pun on a Simpsons character name. Hello, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 46.
46. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am indeed.
Why is that?
Well, first, I'd like to say that the issue isn't with bigotry per se. It's that your definition of bigotry is subjective to the point where it boils down to ultimately.
Cameron, if you're starting the call by saying that my definition of bigotry is wrong, you can explain me what bigotry is with your camera on.
No, what I'm saying is that what it ultimately boils down to is
you're talking instead of turning on your camera, which means you didn't listen to what the host of the show just said. You can tell me what you think bigotry is with your camera on.
See, there you go. Again, trying to take away people's privacy because you're defining your form of bigotry as like, oh, well, if you say that you have subjective bigotry definitions,
not interested. I'm not going to listen. No, you can keep talking if you turn your camera on. If you think it's bigotry that I want you to stand by what you believe and be accountable for your beliefs, then you can get the fuck off my show.
No, it's not about being accountable for your beliefs. It's about maintaining safety and safety for myself and for my family.
Why do you get safety? I don't get safety. I get fucking death threats. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't want you to dox yourself. I don't want your name. I don't care what state you live in. I don't care, you know, I don't need to know anywhere that's 1,000 miles of you. Like, I don't need that information. I need the video of you saying what bigotry to exist on the internet so that your wife can find it.
You understand the reverse image searching and how we're able to find people based off of this, right?
Yeah. And if you have a definition of bigotry that you don't want associated with your name, I'm not interested in fucking hearing it.
No, I just don't want your definition of bigotry.
More people want me dead than will ever hear your voice, and here I am. You can't turn your camera on? Coward.
This has nothing to do with coward. It's just maintaining safety.
Coward.
Because people on your side of the political spectrum actively go after people. One
of the lawmakers in the state of Minnesota was murdered in her sleep last year. A Democrat.
Terrible, yeah. It's horrible.
So what about people on my side? Are you saying that the violence is one-sided? That's fucking nonsense, dude. Camera.
I'm not saying the violence is one-sided. I'm saying
camera. Can we get some camera emojis in the chat? Dude, for everybody just joining, this guy's trying to redefine the word bigotry, and he's not willing to turn on his camera so that people can see who's telling us what bigotry is. Camera on, psycrowbob.
I'm not trying to
camera
bigotry. The definition of bigotry is irrational. Intolerant.
The mods are rescuing you by saying that you don't have camera access, which is fair. But it doesn't even sound like you knew that. Like you were unwilling.
Well, I'm fairly new to this app. I don't know much about this stuff.
Yeah, but you don't have the ability. Yeah, you don't have camera access. I can't even invite you to turn it on. But the fact that you thought you did and refused demonstrates to me that you're not somebody who's worth my time talking to.
Well, just because I don't know the ins and outs of this app that I'm new to.
Oh, it's a private account. Is that what it is? If he makes his account not private? Yeah, that's the whole problem, dude. Like, I run this show where I have to worry about... Like, do you think somebody's going to come and murder you because you define bigotry in a way that's probably bigoted? Like, are you really afraid of that in America today? That's fucking nonsense, dude. It's people like me who are in danger. Like, don't be silly.
Well, do you receive monetary compensation for the risk you're incurring to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't for a long time. I did it for free for months. What's your point?
I receive that financial compensation for the risk I'm incurring?
What are you trying to get out of being on this show? Why are you here? What's the purpose? You're getting something out of it, or you wouldn't be here. Who cares if it's money?
We can talk about Trump. Yeah, I mean, I like Trump.
Right, but I this is a technical thing, and chat, maybe let me know. I know that there's some people who are better at TikTok Live than me, because I'm newer at this than people might guess. It is that his account is private, is why he can't turn on his camera. Is that what's going on? They don't let you turn on your camera if you have a private account. Maybe Corey, who I met on the show, I think yesterday, has some expertise about that. I'm gonna ask him.
Howdy.
How you doing, Corey?
Yeah. I'm living life, having fun. So him being a private account means that you can't request that he do it. However, he may have the option to.
Corey.
Bob, do you see the ability to or do you have like the type box option to the bottom left of your screen there, Bob?
Yes.
What's the next icon you see to the right of it?
A microphone.
Okay. And then what's to the right of that?
It looks like two people in a check.
Okay, cool. So he does not have the ability to turn his camera on. So this one, he is a coward, but he's also a coward limited by technology, or limited by TikTok.
Yeah, well, we got him to admit it before any of us recognized that he didn't have the technological capability. But I just think I'm going to move on from him. I don't think it's worth having a conversation with such a coward.
Sweet. Can you kick me down too? It helps your algo.
Kick for the algorithm. W's in the chat for Cordy and psycrowbob. Get your TikTok account a little bit more established and come back if you want to put your camera on. But I'm not fucking interested in talking to a coward who's so afraid of what the internet's going to do with his definition of bigotry that he doesn't want to come on the Oskar Quentin show and show his face. You can talk to Colin. And I hope I don't have to ask Colin to turn on his camera, because for the type of conversations that I really want to have when I sit in this chair every day, I don't need to have somebody. You don't need to turn your camera on if you're just wrong about some of this stuff. If you support Trump, like it's one thing. It's bigotry. But that guy called in and had a problem with my definition of bigotry. Colin, how old are you?
I'm 52.
Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm not. I just wanted to say that guy Zeke that you were talking to yesterday, he was in other people's lives all afternoon yesterday.
Oh yeah, I've heard he's making the rounds. Something tells me he's not coming back here though.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hopping up. I appreciate you letting me know about that. I have had free time to chase people around on the other lives. I got to start following some opposition so I can see the red ring and hop into the shows that they're on, because it is so fun to be watching a live and have somebody talk shit about me and lie about what I said and then just magically appear in the call because I'm like friends with the host or whatever, and then defend myself. So I've been spending some free time doing that, and I have free time to do that sort of thing thanks to people like Raven and Jesse, who are taking on some of the workload of the show and making it so that instead of sitting here and editing for hours and hours the moment the show is done done recording, I can actually like go on my phone and like start hopping around on TikTok lives and handle other work. So W staff, W Discord. Discord's in the link tree in the bio if you want to get in the Discord. It's growing. I need to make some announcements on there about how to handle the worker bee stuff, because there's so many people. I need to start creating some more hierarchy around like how to get the help to me, because there's so much going on in the Discord I can't even keep up with it. But that's a good problem to have. That's a problem that I'm very proud to have. Let's see. I think I do have. Oh, how nice. Aaron sent me $10. That's the caller who's going to be on the Sunday show because I find him so interesting. He said, really appreciate the stuff you do. Happy to be on the evening show. Actually, DM me though. If you're ever starved for comment, happy to debate other social issues such as pornography. Actually, Aaron, if you're listening, add that to the list of words you can't say on TikTok. See, it's so hard. I'm like an expert at it from doing this every day, but I can't even list all the rules. Gender roles, natalism, etc. Yeah, I might make a big list. It might be a long evening show if you got time on a Sunday evening. He's a religious person. Which there's lots of religious people, but he's one of those people where every political beef seems to be stymied by a particular brick wall that's offered to him by his religion, which is not usually what gets talked about on this show, even though I think it's really important to what's going on in American politics. So I just wanted to give it more of a direct spotlight to talk about that sort of stuff. Anyway, do we have anybody in the request queue? We do not. Attorney Di is here. Hello, Attorney Di. Lots of friends in the chat today. How do I request to join? Luke, let's see if we can get you invited. If you're watching on your phone, there should just be two heads that you can click on, like right down here to the right of the comments bar. Actually, it should just say request right above this Oskar Quentin 2, my backup account. But let's see if I can open the interview queue and get you in there. Or maybe one of the mods has already invited you. If you have a new account, you might not be ready to... TikTok doesn't give the privilege to everybody, so you might not be necessarily available to join. Oh yeah, you know what? I can just see one of my mods just invited you. So if you want to accept that invitation, you will appear on the show and we can have a conversation. I do wish this menu was searchable. It's like utterly silly how unusable this menu of people in the show is. Let's see. There we go. We got some people. Oh, no. We had some friends popping in the chat. Mods can't invite him. I saw that Midwest sent the invitation. W mods for keeping track of the chat for me. A lot of the calls are orchestrated by the mods in the background while I'm busy with the previous call, and I appreciate that. Law of the Wild is here. We got the attorney crew in the chat. We were just talking about you, Law of the Wild. How was your weekend? Let's see. This is it. We made people put on their camera for bigotry, and now there are no more callers. We've defeated MAGA. The masks off thing is just wild, you know? I think back on like all of these reprehensible conversations we've had on this show, all of the monsters whose positions we've really gone down the rabbit hole on, and I just know that a lot of those conversations wouldn't have happened if these people show their faces. I was talking with some of the friends of the show and Jesse and Raven and them about like these people who wore masks and marched in Washington. This really scary thing that happened on Saturday, where like 1,000 Proud Boys marched up the street carrying American flags and shit. Like, how many people who are in that crowd of masked up motherfuckers are people who have called into this show? I bet RC was there, right? Like, Surely the likes of Jake Lang, if he's not still in prison in Texas or wherever he most recently was. Tavi sending fucking guest memberships to people. Thank you for the 5 gift memberships, Tavi. It means there's going to be 5 more people eligible to join the members only stream that happens after the evening show Sunday evenings, where Oskar, instead of being like really yippy and angry about fascism, I mostly just kick it with the fans and have a pour of my favorite beverage. The members only stream's a lot of fun. It's like nice to just engage with people and about whatever they want to talk about instead of like doing this show, because the show, even though I'm just sitting here yapping, filling air because we don't have a caller, is very structured. There are like rules I have to follow to keep the viewership up and to keep the algorithm happy and all that nonsense that I do when I'm live during my regular scheduled block. Few more announcements. I'm not going to release details specifically until like paperwork is done on it, but I have scheduled my first in-person debate with a person who matters. Something like Jubilee. Not Jubilee. Jubilee soon, but Jubilee's a goal. But even though I find their platform problematic, I do think it is just one of the stepping stones in terms of what I'm doing right now. So it's a pretty large platform that I'm in talks with to travel to a different place in the country and film it's going to be like a This Many versus One type of show. Like I said, it's kind of like Jubilee, but not Jubilee. But the one is actually somebody who's on my like hit list of people I want to talk to. So I'm very, very excited about that. But I'll make more announcements about it once the paperwork's done. And I am just straightforwardly going to ask those people like, hey, am I allowed to like announce that this is happening? Should I get my fans excited about me going to this place to record this thing? It's a little ways out. It's in September. But there are talks about that happening, which is very, very, very exciting. We're going to talk to Radical Jackalope. The username suggests to me this is a friendly, but, we got no callers, so I'll give him 10 or maybe 30 seconds to say hi if he's a friendly. Or maybe we'll get into a debate with Radical Jackalope, but again, username suggests it's not. How old are you?
Hey, I'm 41, and that was a complete misclick.
W's in the chat for Radical Jackalope.
Sorry about that.
Jackalope's kind of a local mascot type thing here in the Midwest. Sano, got middle finger emojis. Fuck, it says fuck orange, fuck ice. So again, probably a friendly. Hello, how old are you?
So I'll give him 10 or maybe 30 seconds to say hi if he's a friendly. Or maybe we'll get Jackalope, but yeah, usually it's just not. How
watching me on the TV?
Hey, I'm 41, and that was a complete misclick.
They must be watching the YouTube stream in the background. They're way behind. You can't, if you are in opposition, you can get back in the queue. Just make sure you silence the background noise before you do. I spend enough time listening to my own voice as it is. They are back. I do want to talk to them, but they sounded maybe young. I don't know. Let's just get rid of the background noise for sure.
Hey.
Hello. I can still hear me. Can you quiet down the background noise?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, I'm going to mute them for just a second while they handle that. If you like the show, link tree in the bio, all that noise. The show is, you're donating for 3. Not because I'm not pregnant with twins, but I've hired 2 employees to make my life less insane.
Allegedly not pregnant with twins.
Well, we were just talking about the other day about how men get all the abortions they want, right? Yeah, I created the asterisk, which is that, well, technically a trans man could need an abortion. Yeah. That there was an asterisk to what I said. There was an in for whoever we were making that dunk on. But I guess what I should have said is biological males can have as many abortions as they want. Don't even need help for it. Lucky Phil sent me $2 more on Buy Me a Coffee. I gotta know your justified crash out yesterday. It got loud. First off, you're a singer. Please protect your instrument. But did your neighbors hear any comments, reaction? That clip went viral. IRL, friends, family, scene reactions. Oh, I'm getting lots of like. It's the most recent non-pinned clip on my Instagram if you guys want to go see the crash out from yesterday. Sano, I'll have you up in just a second. I know I still see you there. But I am loud in here a lot as a musician. I just live in like a shitty poverty building that's noisy. There's a drummer that lives down the hall. Like people are fucking noisy. I am a singer, so I am good at screaming. And I did scream in a way that is appropriate. I didn't hurt my voice screaming. Because it was a controlled crash out. I didn't actually lose my temper. It was performative. I like got myself amped up, sure, but like I even did the thing where I made sure to like immediately stop crashing out the moment it was over, so everybody knew that I can just like turn it off. But yeah, no interactions with the neighbors about it. It's not unusual to hear screaming in this building, good or bad, unfortunately. And I like practice singing in here at like performance volume, so everybody knows There's the noisy guy down the hall who likes singing Johnny Cash. So yeah, I'm not super worried about it. I did have the sensibility to back off the mic when I was getting loud. I only peaked it like a couple of times, which was like even good for the clip. I think I'm happy with how the peaking turned out on the clip. I was thinking about it while it was happening because I was in that angry flow state and I was thinking, oh my God, this is the clip. Anyway, sorry, Sano, I almost forgot that you were here. Let's see if you've gotten rid of the background noise. I've invited you to turn off your mic.
Yeah, I did leave the room. I had you on YouTube on my TV as well as on my phone because I'm in and out of the living room. So wanted to say thank you. I love the way that you handle things on your show. And also wanted to ask, because I'm friends with Mark Mallman in Minneapolis, since you're in the music scene, do you know him?
Let me Google him. No, I don't.
Okay, he's been there for a long time. He originally from Wisconsin. He's done some tours in Europe and all over America. I've been good friends with him for about 20 years. And so if you would like, I can send him your contact or your link or your profile, whatever, and just see if you guys want to do anything together. I think it would be kind of cool.
Please do. I'm always excited to get connected with some more scene musicians, you know. Got a network. I really appreciate that. I'll let you go, though, because I got somebody else in the queue.
Yeah, absolutely.
W's in the chat for Sano, whatever the username is. Thank you so much. It's one of the cool things. It's like I became an influencer, and then like a couple of famous people who I really like reached out to me, were like cool stuff, and I'm like starstruck, and I totally forgot that one of the cool things about being an influencer is that you get to be friends with like some famous people. How neat. We're going to talk to Jacob. We're going to see if a conversation with him is neat or very upsetting. How old are you?
26.
Are you a Trump supporter?
In general.
Okay. Sounds to me like you know, if you could switch a flip or you could flip a switch that changed history and made Kamala Harris win the election, you wouldn't flip that switch, would you?
I would not do that. No. But I can say that and also be like disappointed in some things about the current administration.
That's fair. I mean, when somebody calls in and says like, "Oh, I love Trump. I love everything he does," I don't take them seriously at all. I expect that to be a troller. I don't think you could, as a serious person, say that you don't have some criticism of him. But I'd argue that's true of all politicians. You know, I'm pretty critical of a bunch of stuff that Biden did. Why do you support Trump?
I would say his immigration stances in general, but that's also one of my biggest disappointments with the administration so far.
Their performance on it has been bad, hasn't it?
Sure has, and it's kind of crazy that people who agree and disagree with that they can't admit it.
Well, and you're probably talking about the number of deportations not being what you hoped, right?
Yeah, it's pathetic. So I think it's funny that the left sees it as like some major tragedy cost that's happening, and I would personally say on my show. Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I appreciate being careful.
Yeah, man, I'm not trying to get you banned or something.
No, I appreciate it. And I will say, be careful on other people's panels because everybody's rules are different. That's what I've been talking about with the hosts, is that we don't think there's a uniform set of rules. We think it's different for every account. And I have been pushing the boundaries for months and months and months, which is why we can say rape and Holocaust. When there's a Holocaust, lots of people get raped. We can say stuff like that on my show because I've trained the automod system to tolerate it because I'm really against this type of censorship. So I do totally appreciate you being careful, but I do just have to then ask my next question, which is why? Who benefits from deporting those people? Why do you want the Trump administration to succeed at that?
Well, honestly, I mean, we can go at it from that angle, or we can go on legal immigration as well. And my I personally believe that there should be an immigration moratorium altogether, but either way, it depends on what you want to talk about. I think the ICE conversation.
I'm actually kind of interested in the latter because I point out all the time that we, in terms of like the demographics of this country, particularly like what we can expect to happen to our age histogram over the next few decades, which I can explain what that is if you want to know. But it's just a one way of visualizing like how old people in the country are. In developed countries, the birth rate goes down. Are you familiar with that phenomenon?
Sure. Yeah.
So when countries are developed and they like become prosperous and everybody's happy and healthy, That is just the societal trend of the world over. It happens in every country. If you educate your women, if you sort out these societal problems, if you get that HDI up a little higher, the birth rate tends to go down, and then you need to replace that birth rate, or you run into a situation like they have in Japan right now, where Japan's a pretty prosperous place. Like they're doing pretty good on a lot of those indicators, but they have too fucking many old people, and they're not birthing young people fast enough to take care of them. So the age histogram gets top heavy, where it's that Christmas tree looking graph where there are very few old people at the top and then lots of young people at the bottom, and then each layer is like 1 year of age. Well, what happens if your birth rate lowers is the age histogram starts to look like Grimace from the McDonald's cartoons. It starts to get pinched at the bottom because there aren't enough young people to supply the care that's needed for the old people. And it's not just about caring for people in nursing homes. It's about having enough young firefighters to solve emergencies. It's about having enough soldiers in your military. It's about having enough young people going to medical school so that you have enough doctors in 20 years. It's about the same, for all the other professions, about having enough lawyers and stuff like that. Like a lot of skilled labor that we depend on is stuff that young people do, and the birth rate goes down when we're successful. So if we achieve what we want to achieve in America, which is to make life more prosperous, we're going to have a need for immigrants, or we're going to end up like Japan, which would be bad.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, super well said. I would say I 1,000% agree on everything up until the very last sentence where you said, which is why we need immigrants. I think there's other solutions besides that, and I don't think the solution.
What are the other solutions?
I think we should incentivize and propagandize young families, young American families, to have kids and to start families and to be able to buy homes.
Why?
Because I believe in taking care of the native population first before importing. Well, because that's my family, that's my friends, that's the people I grew up with. How many
people live in the country? How many people live in the country?
Was it 350? I think 350 million.
How many of them do you know?
Okay, sure. I don't know, 1,000.
Yeah, I would say most people can't maintain social relationships with more than a 3-digit number of people. That's where it gets a little bit difficult. So I'd expect that'd be about right. There's probably about 1,000 people who throughout your life you've crossed paths enough with that if you passed them walking down the street, you'd say hi to them. That makes sense to me. If your concern is about that sphere of influence, like why do you care what happens with 12 million illegal immigrants, especially if they stand to fix the problem that we just described and supply the labor force with the labor that it needs to keep growing, such that you and your 1,000 friends and family can live more prosperous lives? You're being very short-sighted about this if you think you're protecting those people by deporting illegal immigrants.
Well, again, I've only spoken on illegal immigration so far in terms of importing a like. Well, yeah. So, I mean, again, the reason I don't want to get into the illegal stuff, at least right now, is I feel like that's like a very emotionally charged, like, oh, well, have you seen what ICE is doing? Like, I don't want to get into that because I'm not going to like.
We're not even talking about enforcing. We're just talking about the need for immigration of some kind to address the fact that because America is a prosperous society, we are a developed nation, even though we often don't look like it. We don't look like it if you look at the way we handle our military. We look like a fucking dictatorship. We don't look like it if you look at our healthcare system. We may as well be in Africa. Like it. In one of these more struggling countries, like there's a couple of areas where we're really biffing it, but our HDI is not terrible. We're like 17th amongst we're tied 3 ways for 17th among 200 countries. That's pretty good. But when that happens to a country, we need to replace the population. How exactly are you going to achieve you said to propagandize? Are we going to try to like turn everybody into Mormons so they have a bunch of kids? Like what the fuck is your plan?
That's funny.
You're trying to resist one of the most reliable socioeconomic trends that has ever been measured on Earth, which is that when a society becomes more prosperous, the birth rate declines, and that creates a couple of types of problems that generally can be fixed with immigration.
Well, what if we said that if you're between the age of 18 and 25 and you're married, for every kid you have, we'll pay off 25% of your mortgage? Would that not be an incentivization to do so?
I mean, I don't even think I'd necessarily, maybe wouldn't agree on those numbers. I don't even necessarily think that would be a bad policy. But do you actually think that?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Right. Then why are you pro-Trump? He's trying to take away credits for people who have kids. He's trying to
that's something I would disagree with him on that.
They snuck some shit like that into the big beautiful bill to make it more palatable.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
But again, we have Democratic candidates who actually just want to do those sorts of things, just create large tax incentives for people who have kids to lighten the burden on like starting a family. I agree with those sorts of policies, but it's the things that the Democrats want long term. Why are you supporting Republicans?
Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that Republicans have the right idea either. But I think what we can probably both agree on is that Republicans are the ones that are on your side in terms of let's just import cheap, unlimited, exploitable labor. Because those, I mean, come on, man, that's like a billionaire Republican corporatist wet dream. Oh, I can just
I don't want to exploit them though. I just want to get them, set up to be legal citizens so that we don't exploit them. That's a problem. The exploitation is one of the things I'm upset about illegal immigration because of.
Well, it's not just legal either. I mean, just out of curiosity, and I'm not trying to like pin you into a corner or anything, but have you ever worked in an industry that's heavily H-1B?
Man, who was it? Everybody's calling in about H-1Bs. Which talking head got everybody talking about H-1Bs? Was it Nick Fuentes? Who do you listen to?
Well, no, I'm speaking on. I promise I'm speaking on personal experience, but
I've just had too many callers in the last week bring up H-1Bs. It's a hot topic this week. Where did it come from? What news do you watch?
I don't regularly watch a news program, if I'm being honest.
Who do you follow on Twitter?
I don't use Twitter. I think Twitter's a shit show.
I agree. I don't know. I'm skeptical of every now and then somebody brings me the same bad argument. Or a bunch of people will bring me the same bad argument, and then I'll find out, or it's oh yeah, some loser on Twitter made a video about this, and it's making the rounds.
I got you. I promise this is coming from personal experience and from what I've observed and from what is completely possible with these visas.
Chat's saying it was Nick Fuentes.
All right. Well, I've seen his clips on Instagram Reels. That's my extent of my knowledge.
There it is. So right. So you are taking him in.
No. I've seen the clips of him saying the N-word and rage baiting. I'm not a Nick Fuentes guy. But regardless, so the point I'm trying to get at is H-1Bs are just as exploitable as anybody else. I mean, you're literally holding their employment status over their head. You're saying, hey, if you want to work here legally and if you want to maintain this legal status, you're going to do what we say, and you're going to work these long hours, and you're going to accept this lower pay.
Okay. So let's accept this H-1B argument. Let's say that the immigrants taking away the skilled laborers' jobs. So again, this is just kind of a sidestep from the whole thing about what most immigrants, legal or otherwise, the type of work that they're doing, because it usually isn't that type of skilled labor. The reason we incentivize that type of immigration is because we don't have enough skilled people to do those jobs here. So again, that leaves me wondering why the hell you want Trump to be president, who isn't taking on H-1Bs. He said that he's not going to. He's pro H-1B visas because he recognizes at least that these people are useful to the economy and to the prosperity of the country. And then conversely, you have to fill. You can't just take away the supply for the labor and expect for the demand to be filled. Do you want college to be free?
I think we should heavily incentivize / make free certain industries. If we can measure, hey, industry X, Y, or Z needs these employees. And honestly, I'm not even saying abolish the H-1B program altogether.
I already take issue with that because something tells me that you don't respect education enough to understand that it's important that people get educated, and it would be good to give free college to everybody. You're talking about paying off 25% of the mortgages of people who have children, which is an insanely expensive way to force a particular behavior because I asked for a way that you could encourage that behavior, and you actually gave me an answer. I don't think that's a practical policy that would ever succeed on the political stage in America, but you're right, that would incentivize people to raise families. It'd just be so fucking expensive, so much more expensive than the sorts of tax credit things that we do. But my question again, we don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough aerospace engineers. We don't have enough of the sort of IT specialists who do more than basic programming, like the type of project managers that people need for tech companies to grow in 2026. We don't have enough of that expertise. What is your plan to replace it if we're going to stop the immigrants coming and taking those jobs?
Same exact thing, incentivize and propagandize. I think we should do mass studies on which industries currently and upcoming are going to need, which I think we already have all those numbers, by the way, which is the only reason we're able to speak on that. And we should be going into high schools, and we should be going into colleges, and we should be incentivizing and propagandizing which we kind of currently do now.
Propagandize. I feel like for me, I spread awareness. I have an agenda. I have a platform. I'm trying to influence American politics by influencing the minds of voters. I think I'm doing a reasonably good job. The reason I don't call what I do propaganda is because I think for it to be propaganda, the agenda has to be more important than the authenticity. Why are you so proudly using the word propaganda to describe what you're doing? Do you define it in that way or not?
No, I wouldn't. I don't use it as like a dirty word. I'm talking about just like all of those same things that you just said, like you're influencing, but from the state is how I would. So maybe I'm not even using the right word. It's just it's the easiest word to say. It's information campaign from the state.
Okay. You're saying some stuff that I kind of agree with. I cannot wrap my head around how it makes you a Trump supporter.
Well, like I said, I'm disappointed in Trump because if Trump would have came in and said, you know, he posed himself as the anti-immigration guy, and then he's bending the knee to H-1Bs and 600,000 student visas for Chinese and whatever, you know. So that's why I'm disappointed that he's not far right enough on the immigration issue. But I'm definitely not going to turn to the other side and go. The idea of paying people's mortgages if they have kids, or making you wanted to, you know, use your precious feelings to determine what college we should make free instead of just making college free. I think that's shitty. We could get into that, but we at least agree that it would be good to address some of these problems if the government bolstered the education system in such a way that it yielded more workers who could fill these skilled labor positions. Of course.
Yeah. You think that the Republicans are going to help the education system in any way?
I don't think the Republicans or the Democrats are going to do shit for you or I. I'm not here to take a stand on I'm not a shill for either side. So
neither am I. I'm highly critical of the Democrats, but they are trying to protect and bolster the education system. You're wrong about that.
Well, sure. So here's my thing though, is it can be summed up in one sentence in terms of like I mentioned, the immigration moratorium is shut it off for now. And then we figure it out. It wasn't based on feelings. It was based on, let's take the empirical data behind where are we lacking in education? Where are we lacking in, you know, why are people not having kids? Why are we not doing this? Why, like, shut it down, figure all of that out. And then let's say 5-10 years from now, we did our best and we still need 3 or 4% more doctors, 3 or 4% more, you know, AI experts, etc. We can go back out to the world and we can say, hey, where's the best of the best? We want you guys to come in. We're opening our doors again. But I don't think it's like a terrible thing. It's not a racist thing. It's not a ultra nationalist thing to say, guys, like, we got to chill out. Let's turn off the faucet for now. Get our shit figured out. That we have so many issues in so many ways. Yeah, you say
turn off the faucet as though there's like a big lever in the White House that turns off immigration. Like if we got that hard on immigration, it would just increase the amount of illegal immigration, and which is low right now because Trump is doing so many controversial, horrible things. I'm going to thank a couple of donors quickly before we dive back into this, because I'm trying to wrap my head around how this makes you a right-leaning person at all. Because it sounds like somebody pointed out in the comments, they want you to fucking you're trying to use socialism to achieve Republican family values. It's fucking insane. So we'll get to that in a moment. But Jesse, who's sitting over there, cheekily donated $5 to get a word in edgewise. You could just come say it in the microphone. You're mic'd. You have a microphone over there. We remembered to set that up. Anyway, Jesse added, being pro-American birth and anti-immigration is simultaneously racist and anti-adoption, in my opinion. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me, Jesse. And Elusive Viper said central planning. This is just central planning. Yeah, again, like, it just, none of this sounds pro-Trump. I'm just not able to understand how the caller arrives at being pro-Trump based on any of these positions. David points out for $5 on Venmo, protect the bloodline sounding guest. Yeah. I mean, I kind of poked him on that. Carrie sent me $10 on Cash App to say thank you for all you do with the hard hands. Hard hands back. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate you. Yeah, dude. Sorry, just point blank again. Why are you a Trump supporter? Oh, and the gift memberships. Snake is sending gift memberships. Thank you so much, Snake. Thank you, Jesse, for pointing that out to me. Yeah, why are you a Trump supporter?
Well, again, I'm highly critical of Trump.
That's not an answer to the question. We already covered that part of the conversation.
No, but I mean, if you were to say, do I support him in general or no? I would lean towards no at this point. But the problem, in terms of my 2024 vote, why I voted for him is because if mass migration is my number one issue, do I have anyone within the Democrat Party to vote for? Does anyone on the left have a reasonable at all immigration policy?
Well, I mean, Biden had border policy that Trump shot down. Like, are you aware of that?
Well, yeah, and we can get into the whole politics behind that bill and how he struck it down to win the election and what. Again, I'm not here to simp for Trump or Republicans.
So you can at least admit that that's bad. But again, it gets back to this base point about how, like, you want to halt immigration for 10 years, deport all the illegal immigrants, stop H-1B visas. Like, you have this really extreme approach to the labor market, which I just think is based in some kind of it's got to be some sort of racism or the sort of nationalism I'm not a fan of. Do you think we as Americans should be proud of what we've done for the immigrant in the last 250 years? I grew up in New York, so I grew up learning the history of Ellis Island, learning the history of the tenements on the Lower East Side. I toured those museums where they showed us what living conditions were like for the laborer in Lower Manhattan 120 years ago, and that was very fascinating. And that really colored my perspective on how America really has offered refuge to the poor, huddled masses the world over, because we recognize that it's people escaping bad conditions elsewhere who will come to a place where they are respected and work hard and live that beautiful American dream. That's why the country was started. The country was started by people who had that dream. So they wrote down some rules that would protect us from the perils that they were escaping in Europe. And we created this club that you can come and follow some rules and join. And the history of America is to build the cities better, to build the infrastructure better. We did it with fucking slaves for a while because history's dark and fucked up. We moved away from that. And for, after slavery ended in the 1860s, we had the Reformation period where we had tried to handle all these laws. And then we had the Industrial Revolution, where it is because of the immigrant that America got set up enough to fight effectively in the world wars. Like, the industries that we built are do you not respect that history at all? Like, do you not care that happened?
No, I absolutely respect. I take issue with nothing you just said. I 100% agree.
Why do you want us to stop?
Is because there's no point of any of that, and there's no point of that beautiful message if there's not a good country to immigrate to. If you're going to immigrate into
you haven't demonstrated that they're harmful to the economy, and all of the economists think that you're wrong, and I think you're wrong because I've studied what the economists have said about illegal immigrants, and it makes sense what they're saying. This age histogram problem isn't just a social issue about there being too many old people. It's about the labor availability in all sectors, the number of people who work in less skilled positions. Generally, in a healthy society, we would hope it's young people working less skilled positions so that you get more skilled and you get a better job when you're older. You haven't offered me evidence that if we achieved the sorts of things that you're trying to achieve, it would be better, which is why when people say they want to deport all the illegal immigrants or stop immigration legally or stop H-1Bs, I always just say, who benefits from that happening? What economic indicators are going to improve if you achieve what you want?
Well, the only people that are benefiting from the current system are the people that own these huge companies and that have
that's
endless
not true. No, that's
labor.
False. That's
So who else benefits from that?
The big companies benefit too
culture.
much because of exploitation, but they also exploit legal residents of the country. There's a problem with that.
Why give them that option? Why give them that option to begin with then?
I don't want to. I want to give the illegal immigrants legal status so they can have their labor rights protected. That's a small piece of the pie, though. The economists are sure that this labor force, whether we label them illegal or not, if we change some laws and created an amnesty program that made them legal, that doesn't affect their dent on the economy all that much, other than creating... it'll increase their tax burden a little bit, but they already so disproportionately pay into it, and it would increase the participation rate that it would still be a positive tax burden. They'd still be beneficial. And yes, it would be more costly for labor, but that's a problem that's separate from immigration entirely. I'm furious about the disparity that exists between a CEO and the lowest paid employee at that business. I think we should restrict the size of that gap. I think we should have some policies that protect all people who are working those low-level positions, just out from a humanist perspective and from the fact that redistributes wealth from the wealthy back to the poor by giving them better wages for their labor, which means that they have time and space in their lives to achieve the things they want to achieve, whether that's personal freedoms and just having fun with their life, or starting their own company, or inventing somebody, or writing beautiful music, or whatever people should do with their time if they're not forced to work 80 hours a week. The America that you describe sounds like shit to me, and I think it's because I understand the economy.
Well, the America that I'm describing is where big corporations don't have a choice to turn to easily exploitable, cheap foreign labor sources, and where they have to give.
Everybody is easily exploitable in an economy where 60% of people live paycheck to paycheck. You understand that, right? Desperation is what creates exploitation. And these 12 million illegal immigrants are a little bit more desperate than the rest of us because they don't have their paperwork in order. They can't just get a bank account because they don't have a social security number. There's a bunch of hurdles in the way. But the problem is so much bigger than them, and that's what you're failing to recognize. There's an exploitation problem in the labor market generally that I also want addressed. That's something that I think that the Democrats are going to do a better job of addressing than the Republicans, and you're just sidestepping it like it doesn't fucking matter that more than half of the people in this country would be crippled by a car fix or a vet bill or something. Like most people don't have $1,000 to spare on an emergency, and that's something that could be fixed by addressing labor laws, whether or not we consider the effect it would have on the immigrant, legal or otherwise. You're not making any sense to me, dude.
I guess I don't understand how you don't see that the dilution of the labor market itself and the millions of people that are willing to work low wage jobs and accept the lowest of the low slave labor level wages isn't hurting the labor market. I mean, it's simple supply and demand. If you had 10 million, 15, 20, the number's disputed, but if you had somewhere between 10 and 25 million less people that were willing to take.
What's the unemployment rate?
Not sure off the top.
It's low right now. It's doing okay. It's actually one of our economic indicators that's not the worst. It's 4%, and it's because people are fucking desperate and they'll take any kind of job that gets their bills paid. It's one of those weird little indicators that happens, or sometimes a sign of a recession is that people are so desperate that people can't afford to be unemployed for long enough to find a good job, so they don't. They find a shitty job. They keep slaving for their bills. That is one of the biggest problems. People forget. People are just fucking miserable. Like, the fact that 60% of people are paycheck to paycheck, it sucks being paycheck to paycheck. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, your life sucks. I think that's fair to say. I've lived paycheck to paycheck for long enough to know. So to just say that we have an economic circumstance where 60% of the people in this country are living a shitty, difficult life, that is so fucked up. Why do you keep sidestepping? Do you care about that fact?
Well, no, listen. Can I do like a simple line of questioning here? Would the average American citizen work hard labor on a farm for less than federal minimum wage? Would the average American man do that? No, right? So what if you took away all the people that would do that, and then you forced the companies to pay the American man what they like, the actual going rate, instead of the artificially deflated going rate for that kind of labor?
The immediate effect would be catastrophic. That'd be bad.
Sure, I understand.
That's why we shouldn't deport all of the illegal immigrants, because that's what would happen to the agriculture industry, because about 52 to 54% of them are undocumented immigrants.
Yeah. Because and do you think those huge companies would rather have that number just be 90 or 95% if they could just have that 95% and pay them all $4 an hour under the table? Wouldn't you do? So what I'm saying is
they're evil. They want to exploit people.
Borders.
Correct. But I'm not for that, dude. I want to fix that. I want to address that. Tavi sent me $10 on YouTube Super Chat to say, this is what we mean when we say the right is destroying America. Anti-immigration has worked for 0 countries. South Korea and Japan are the only cases, and they have negative birth rates. Yeah, that's why I use fucking Japan as an example of a place where their age histogram is so fucking out of whack that they're going to have an actual fucking emergency in terms of healthcare for the elderly in like 10 or 20 years. Fucking worried about you, Japan. Get some immigration figured out. Yeah, dude, like...
but why is your immediate jump to get some immigration figured out instead of get the birth rate under control and incentivize and encourage or propagandize or whatever you want to say?
Why does it matter to you whether the person who gets the job was born here by somebody who was incentivized by a program to increase the birth rate here, or an immigrant? Why does that make a difference to you? Because my whole thing is, I care about people who are already here. Why are we trying to make more Americans to feed when 60% of us are already struggling in the way that I just described, instead of inviting more people into the club?
That's my point. You just argued for my point. What are you talking about? You just made an anti-immigration argument. You just said, why are we inviting more people into the party to live under that situation? That's what I've been trying to get across this whole time.
Why aren't we? I'm saying we should, instead of increasing the birth rate, because there are people who are already born who can have the jobs. All we need to do is invite them into the club.
No, but you just said that we are all already living under this terrible situation in this terrible economy and struggling. Why would we invite more people in to hop on board with that?
You misheard me, or I misspoke. That's not what I said. I said specifically, why would we want to increase the birth rate to like regressively make the problem worse, instead, like on Earth, by creating more mouths to feed, instead of just taking hungry mouths and giving them fucking jobs so they can feed themselves? Why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you whether the person that the economy needs comes from an American's vagina or from over the border? What difference does that make to you? Why do you care? This is why I think you're a nationalist. I think you're a racist. I think you're a xenophobe.
Well, first of all, those are some horrifying accusations to make. I haven't said a single racial term. I haven't made this about anything about skin color or...
Cameron, it'll convince me for... yeah, here
this
we go.
Is an anonymous account that I have with a fake name and a picture of a car, dude.
Cameron.
Bro.
Yeah.
See, this entire thing, man, I thought we were having a good conversation and this entire thing devolves into
I've known the whole time that this is how it was going to end.
Racist. Have I said a single thing about white people or white culture or preserving our culture or preserving our bloodline? Have I said a single thing along those lines?
If you think you haven't, you shouldn't have any problem turning your camera on.
No. All right, man. Well, if you're going to make a baseless, evil accusation like that, then I'll just say goodbye. It was nice chatting with you until you did that. But have a good one, man. Good luck.
It wasn't nice chatting with you at all, because I knew the entire time that this is how it was going to go. I was just waiting for it. I wanted to get a little bit more out before I put him there. Thank you, Lucky Phil, for the $2 on Buy Me a Coffee. He said Republicans are not pro-family. They oppose everything that helps families survive. Living wages, affordable housing, paid children, healthcare, food security, that's pro-family. Forcing people to struggle, then blaming them for struggling is not pro-family. They just want to stay in power and get rich, which means that keeping their billionaire backers happy. Vote blue unless you're happy working 2 to 3 jobs and barely scraping by. Thank you so much. Did I miss any from him? He sends so many. I miss one every now and then, and I always feel bad. No, I don't think I did miss one from him. But yeah, thank you very much, Lucky Phil. I appreciate you. Nothing new on Cash App. Let's hop over to Venmo. Need to get this logged on the computer so Jesse can handle this for me. I think I've got new ones from David, but he sends so many, it's very hard to keep track. I think his most recent one is new, though. Thank you, David, for the $5. He adds, Jacob, did they supply you with the khakis, blue shirt, Patriot front hat, and mask this weekend in DC, or did you have to pay for it? Yeah, think it's interesting. He bailed pretty fucking quickly when I asked him to turn his camera on. That's how it's gonna fucking go when you're talking to those sorts of people. They act like I'm not a professional at detecting if people are racist. It's my fucking job, dude. I could smell it through my headphones. It's fucking crazy. He dodged it so effectively when I just asked him so fucking point blank. Araxis sent me $2 on Cash App. Intelligent enough to know he's evil. Veiled hate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I wanted the answer. Like, why does it matter? That was the question. Why does it matter to you if the labor that's needed comes from a person who came out of an American's vagina versus a port of entry at the border? Like, what if it doesn't? It shouldn't make a difference to you. We're just talking about fucking people. Like, who the fuck cares? Again, you like the whole country. I can't surf good. You're my next caller. Maybe my last caller. We're coming up on 2 hours here. We shall see. Let's keep the stream strong. Keep double tapping away on the screen. Fucking almost 300 on YouTube. Holy shit. The YouTube guys, there's gonna be a day where the YouTube stream has more viewers than the TikTok stream, and we're gonna get some competition going about that. But because they are catching up. I can't surf good. How old are you? I can't surf good. I heard some noise. I think you muted yourself, but you're not muted. I don't know. Gonna let you go. I think we're gonna have a very brief conversation with Keemokazzi because we got 5 minutes left in the show, and I'm not gonna go over for Keemokazzi. I think I'm just gonna check in with Keemokazzi about how he's doing learning things. Are we doing 3 hours today? Get on the mic if you're gonna talk, Jesse. The people want to hear your beautiful pipes. Yeah. I mean, we can do 3 hours today, depending on if we can get some callers, because the live viewership is holding pretty steady. Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Keem, what's up, dude?
Yeah. What's up, Birdie? How you doing?
I think about you all the time, man. You're one of the toughest cases I have on this show. You're a tough nut to crack. I don't know how it is information gets into your head, and all I'm interested in discussing with you ever is exactly how that is. Because you tell me all the time that you only listen to smart people who know what they're talking about. You seem not to think that I'm one such person. You think the Earth is flat. You don't think we've been to the moon. You think everything that you disagree with is AI. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to talk to you about anything at all?
I never said that. I never said anything with AI.
Roll the clips.
Yeah, you've said it so many times. I'm not really going to dignify that with trying to defend it.
What I call it was AI.
The Artemis footage?
I didn't say that was AI. I said that was a simulation.
You did say it was AI.
I said it was a simulation. You can go back to the clips.
You know, dude, I could show it to you, but you would tell me it was AI. Like, why? I can't show you any fucking evidence, man. Everything I show you, you just say it's AI. Like,
hey, Sonny Bun, what do you want to debate on today? Because your boy is back from Arkansas.
I don't know, man. Last time we talked, you said that eyewitness testimony was good, and I listed 10 words for you, and then I asked for you to tell me which word was the fourth one. You got it wrong, and then said that I was lying and refused. Yeah?
That's way different.
Why was that not a good demonstration to you that eyewitness testimony is not reliable? I ran a little experiment where we tried to use your eyewitness testimony to see what happened 30 seconds ago, and you failed the test because I designed it in such a way that it seemed easy, but it's actually kind of hard because I'm pretty knowledgeable about how people's short-term memories work. We can run the experiment again right now if you'd like to try and show everybody how good your memory is today. But why was that not good evidence for you that eyewitness testimony is not very reliable?
Because it's different when you have adrenaline running.
According to whom?
Everybody.
So if you had adrenaline coursing through your veins, you'd remember the word better? Do we check how much adrenaline people had coursing through their veins when they give witness testimony in the courtroom? Like, this is a nonsense non-answer. You just made that up. I would expect that people's memories get less clear when there's adrenaline, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But just the same, the point stands. People's eyewitness testimony is not very reliable. Most people aren't having an adrenaline dump most of the time.
It doesn't matter. They weren't involved.
With what? We're just talking about if eyewitness testimony is reliable or not.
It 100% is.
It's 100% reliable.
For the Carmelo Anthony case, yes.
Would you say that if he'd been found innocent?
Probably not.
So you would change whether or not you think that the evidence was good based on the outcome of the verdict?
Well, no, because I want it because I would see,
right there. I just called you on it. I said that you said that in the case of Carmelo Anthony, it is really reliable. And I said, would you say that if the verdict had been different? And then you said that you wouldn't. So you're judging whether or not the evidence was good based on whether the verdict is the one that you wanted. And that's just not how fucking evidence works, which is why you're soft banned from the show. And I'm not really interested in engaging in any particular type of subject matter with you.
Why would I be banned, man?
Because it's a waste of time to talk to somebody who's not willing to look at evidence, even if you hold it up in front of their face. I demonstrated that your eyewitness testimony was bad.
I do look at evidence. I looked at all the evidence for the Carmelo Anthony case. He was obviously guilty, bro. Come on.
Right, and you just say that, even though it goes against all of the actual evidence that there is. I'm a little conflicted about the Carmelo Anthony case. My viewers know that. I'm not gung-ho about any, I can't have a conversation about evidence with you when every time you see something that you disagree with, you just say that it's AI or a simulation or there wasn't enough adrenaline or whatever excuse you come up with.
You realize if we let him go on this case, man, he would probably end up doing some other crimes to other people.
See, that doesn't you're so stuck on a specific case, but because you are so bad at handling information, I'm not interested in talking about the Carmelo Anthony case with you. I'm interested in talking about how you figure out what's true, and we just never make any progress on that. So you can just say a sentence and put bro at the end of it, and it doesn't help. But I don't know, man. I'm worried about you. I have a lot of compassion for people your age. You're 18 years old, which is why I didn't ask the age at the beginning of the call for everybody. He's a regular caller. He turned 18 in February. And, I think that...
Wait, what day in February, though? Do you remember?
No, eyewitness testimony is not that good. I do remember you telling me. Was it the 9th?
21st, February 21st.
Yeah, see, eyewitness testimony not reliable at all.
Yeah, but it was also different. That was different. It was a different type of... Dude, we're talking about somebody getting stabbed and witnessing it.
Right, it's very important. It's very important. It's very important that we're reasonable when we're talking about somebody getting stabbed, because you're right, it's very important that we take that seriously. But you can't just make up shit when you're talking about it, and that's what you do. You just make shit up, you just say it's AI, you just look for evidence that tells you that you're right about the thing that you already think, which is why I'm just so I'm so concerned for you, because I feel like...
Why are you concerned for me? I might be a little concerned for you, man, if you're concerned for me.
I'm just concerned that you're going to believe some bullshit that's going to cause you to make decisions that are harmful to society. I worry the sorts of people who peddle in the sort of beliefs that you believe, like the flat earthing stuff and the fake, all this conspiracy theory nonsense. It's a really dark, misogynistic group of people who support those sorts of baseless claims. So I'm really worried actually about, like you said, you're worried about what Carmelo Anthony can do. I'm really worried about what you might do.
Come on, man. I'm really worried about what you liberals would do, man. Y'all shot Carly Kirk in the neck, man. Come on.
With the way
y'all
that
are so crazy. Y'all are so crazy. Y'all are shooting people over politics, man. Come on now.
One of the lawmakers in my state was murdered in her sleep last year. Are you aware of that?
One of
the lawmakers in Minnesota, Melissa Hartman, one of our elected officials here, was murdered in her sleep with her husband last year. The gunman also shot a different one of our lawmakers who survived and had a list of others that he was going to. I think that all of those people were all individually more important to this country than Charlie Kirk. Why do we spend so much time talking about Charlie Kirk? Do you believe what I just told you, that one of our lawmakers was assassinated last year?
Do I believe you?
Yeah, that happened. Do you believe that happened?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Because you don't believe most of the things I tell you. She was a Democrat. It was a Republican who killed her because he didn't like her politics.
Yep, just the exact same guy did for Charlie Kirk, man.
Right. Political violence is bad. But you said it's us. You said it's us on the left. Do you recognize that it is not a left issue?
Hey, you realize y'all tried it on Trump many times and y'all failed many times. Did we ever attempt to assassinate Joe Biden? No, we did not. So why are y'all trying to assassinate Trump? That's crazy, man. Come on.
You're moving past my question because you here we're gonna wrap the show in a second. I'm not gonna engage with this with you further.
You're saying
you said it's us on the left are so dangerous. You do recognize.
You said us Republicans are so dangerous, and I said no. It's the other way around. Y'all know more dangerous than us.
No, I gave an example of it happening on the other side, and you're ignoring it.
I'm not giving an example of it happening on the other side.
Do you think that political violence is only a problem on the left?
No, but it's a majority of it.
That's nonsense, dude.
How is that nonsense? I literally agreed with you.
Most of the people who've attempted to assassinate Trump have themselves been Republicans who recognize that what he's doing is un-American.
Yeah, that's stupid, bro. It's all trans people, and that's
fucking made up, dude. Like that's fucking no, dude. I'm Raven. You're gonna get to. It's just made up. There have been 1,000 mass shootings that they studied, and 4 of them were done by trans people. The amount of representation. There's a Wikipedia article about misinformation about trans people in shootings because it just doesn't happen. It's fucking made up. I'm gonna let Raven tear you a new one, and then I'm ending the show because I'm done fucking talking to you, dude. I can't do it.
School shootings have been trans people, man. Come on.
That's just pure lies. Can you reference which ones?
Who told you that?
Man, I've seen it everywhere, man. Come on.
Yeah, if you can't actually bring anything, it's just lies. But I just wanted to bring up the fact that Keemo, you didn't even know I was trans, and you said it's because you've never seen me before, but you've seen me on camera before. We talked face to face on camera when you had your mask on, and you didn't even remember that. So your eyewitness testimony is pretty crap.
You're a child, bro. Come on.
This is a pie chart showing how many of mass shootings were committed by trans people. The reason you can't see the sliver that's trans people is because it's probably not enough pixels to show up on your screen, but I see it on my monitor. It's here.
It means the blue part is the trans people.
No, the blue part is everybody else. The red sliver is the trans people.
Oh, still way too many for the amount of people that are of our population, man.
Keemo, do you know what statistical significance is?
Yeah, I do.
So if trans people are 1% of the population, but they commit 0.01% of the mass shootings, do you think that's statistically significant?
Wait, reason that?
If trans people are 1% of the population, but they commit 0.01% of mass shootings, do you think that that is statistically significant?
It's not that much.
You don't think the fact that compared to the amount of trans people, they're committing it at 100 times less than you would expect to see?
Like, where are you gonna go with this?
I'm saying that a trans person is 100 times less likely to commit a mass shooting than their cis counterparts.
Y'all doesn't mean y'all aren't crazy, man. Y'all aren't actually trans, man. Y'all are the gender y'all were born as. Y'all were never anything.
He's not even engaging with the question. He's just saying he didn't understand your question, so he defaults to trans people aren't real, even though that has nothing to do. He's like, he's saying the group doesn't exist while blaming the group for school shootings. Like, there's no talking to Keemokazzi. Unless you got anything else, Raven, I'm just gonna kick him and wrap the show. It's obscene.
Come on, man. Don't.
Yeah, that's about all I got. I just wanted to point out how bad his eyewitness testimony was, considering he'd seen me on camera before.
My daily heartbeat, Oscar. Come on, don't kick me.
No, dude.
Before you kick me, love you, chat.
He got auto removed anyway for something he said there. He got auto removed right at the end. Love you, Raven. W's in the chat for Raven.
We love you too, Raven.
Raven's a staff member. Raven gets a paycheck for helping out on the show. So, yeah. Thank you, Jazz, for the $5 on YouTube super chat. Kirk's shooter was MAGA. All of Trump's shooters were Republicans. The earth is not flat. You are just an idiot, Keemokazzi. I didn't ask Keemokazzi to turn his camera on because, for one thing, he has done it before on my show a long time ago. But also, he's 18. You know, like I know he's a fucking lost cause, but that breaks my heart, and I just don't. Like, I hope there's accountability for him in his life, but I really am worried about the sorts of things that he's going to believe. If you can show him information like that and he just declares that it's wrong, he's not even interested in recognizing the fact that, like, trans people are so unlikely. They're so much less likely than the public to do anything violent like that. It's just, we touch base with him, but he's not good airtime. That's the Oskar Quentin Show, everybody. Sunday evening show, 7 p.m. Central Time, when we have special guests. We had Andrew Mercado last night. That's live on my YouTube. That was lots of fun. And then we have the members only stream, where if you pay monthly as a member on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, you can come hang out and do, the chill chat, where we don't have to worry about views and all that shit. We just, have a drink together and, chat and talk about shit. Lots and lots of fun. And then this show happens every day, 10 to 12, sometimes longer, especially with now Jesse sitting in the other chair producing the show for me and helping me with the editing. So if you want to, if you want to stay in touch for all that, link tree in the bio. And if you want to support the show, Venmo, Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee, or Patreon, just like Lucky Phil, he clicked on Buy Me a Coffee and sent me $2 to say, let's see, when was this one? He said, I use this for the lack of character limit, and 95% of the dono going to the creator. W, buy me a coffee. Yeah, I do get a bigger slice on there. And yeah, amnesty is a pathway to citizenship. It eliminates the exploitation of undocumented workers. Previous caller was uninterested in hearing that. And then Lucky Phil sent another $2 to say, caller makes as much sense as trying to smell the color 9. W, Raven. Yeah, Keemokazzi just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, that's like the biggest, that's really what it is. There's no talking to that guy about anything at all. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on YouTube. The YouTube stream is getting so healthy. That's very exciting. Did I miss anything before I close, Jesse? Important announcements? No? Got some traveling this summer. Donate more money so we can travel. We got places to go, things to do.
All right, Grifter. I'm just kidding. We might be back with the music to end the streams. I know. Actually, a few of you have been asking for that, so we're working on setting that back up today, so you guys can hear a little bit of Oskar Quentin music.
Look for the red ring today. We might do some test streams.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we'll do some test streams.
Yeah, because I gotta get my 8-channel mixer set up as the device that runs the show instead of my 2-channel mixer, so I can like play music and sound good. Yeah. So we might be fucking around with that today. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, TikTok. And goodbye, YouTube.